Hello and welcome to Garblag Games. We're playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and this is Flint Steel! Hello and welcome back to Garblag Games and Flint and Steel. Today we are bringing you episode 8 of our show. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, there's a link below to the rest of the playlist where you can see such wonderful episodes as Pirouette of Blood. In a moment, we'll go around the table and the guys will tell us what they've spent their experience on. But before that, you may notice Jim is back. Jim! So we have Hartwin back in the team. Yeah. If you want to check us out on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, we have recently done a Twitter poll, once again, to see who gets a free fortune point for this episode.
It's not the dwarf, is it?
Funnily enough, it's Bagrick. I think Roger's been talking to all his mates on Twitter again.
I don't have any mates on Twitter. I've got like 5
Wait,
followers.
didn't I win the first poll? Do I get one for that first one as well?
Okay, there was a draw, I think, that time.
Yeah.
So
Was it?
we will give you a free fortune point.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We also have our Patreon, which we started recently. There is a link below, so you can go and check that out as well. We've been throwing up some free content for people, D&D subclasses, and a nice map recently that you may see fairly soon, possibly. But go check that out, and please consider supporting the channel. Thank you. We also started Masters and Monsters, our Mage show, properly. We got into the actual story with episode 2, Mile End. Roger and I are playing in that one. That's a lot of fun. Bit more cerebral show, I think. Anyway, check that one out as well. We've got a link below for that as well. Links are all down there. Anyway, let's go around the table and the guys can tell us what they've spent their experience on. And this time we'll start on my right with Lawrence.
I'm Lawrence. I'm playing Torvald Rolfson, the dwarf cartographer, and this week the nice 200 experience we've got to spend went on a +5 to my intelligence and +5 to my toughness.
Cool.
Taking them both to 46.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm playing Bagrick Rolfson, the dwarf shieldbreaker, and this week I spent my 200 XP on 2 upgrades to my agility, so I'm hoping to not go last in at least one combat.
You still have the lowest agility though, don't
Probably.
you? Yeah.
It's a whopping 35.
Ooh.
No, hi to me.
You're now
Hi to
beating me.
Oh, blimey.
Taking 2 upgrades.
Hi to me.
Lower than my base. Which is...
Is it me?
It
Hi,
is.
I'm Jim. I'm playing Hartwin Newman, who is I forgot what I am. I'm a targeteer. I've spent experience points.
Oh, I haven't changed your nameplate on the screen. Sorry. It still says Bounty Hunter.
Ooh! Ooh!
It's because you haven't been here.
Yeah, well, there you go. I spent some experience points on learning longbow and more on my ballistic skill. 5 more ballistic skill. So when I aim, my ballistic skill is now 77.
That is more.
Blimey. Okay.
Simon, I play Mr. Fawkes, and I spend my experience on disarm, because that's not disarming. That's like removing weapons.
That does happen though.
Yeah, it
It
does
does.
happen a lot.
Yeah, it does. And you are quite
I
disarming
went with
with
plus,
the ladies, aren't
yeah,
you?
oh yeah. I went with +1 wounds, so I only have 2 wounds left before I get to change, and no longer have to bodyguard other people. I can just go and hit people for my own pleasure.
You tend to do that anyway.
But I mean, sometimes those 2 things coalesce.
That's
Shooting
true.
someone, you get to hit someone else.
Yeah.
Can I ask, does Alvin actually have curly hair? Is that just... For those that can't see, there is a curly hair on your...
This curly haired
Yeah. Is
doodle.
that Alvin or is that your target?
That's
You just...
Alvin's wearing his hair down today.
Okay, I'm Kevin. I'm playing Sigbert Alpenpon Schultz, who is a human noble. I haven't spent my experience points yet, for reasons that may become apparent later.
Maybe. We'll see. Cool. And I'm Pete, the Game Master. Okay, so previously on Flint and Steel, in Pirouette of Blood, our hero. Don't worry, Roger. I'm not going to pick on you again. Our
Fate will do it for him. He will roll the dice.
No, I'm not going to roll. Our heroes were in the underneath the ruined temple of Verena, and you had found some warpstone and some strange chamber where there was a magical sword, a sword of battle, which Alvin now has. And you had a bit of an explore and found some other chambers. There was a strange etheric wind blowing through the rooms, and you found some sort of old ruinous book and another bit of warpstone in a chamber where there were skeletal Skaven that you battled until the sword passed over the threshold into the room and they crumbled to dust. You then realised that someone was coming down the hole after you, and you decided to go and have a bit of a ruck with them, and you sort of tore them to bits. Crossbow bolts through the foot, then in the neck, and then punching someone in the throat so hard that they fall down a bottomless pit to their death. Lots of fighting going on, lots of stabbing going on, and you
And a
captured.
great big falling down off of a rope.
It was delightfully grim last week.
That was.
It was.
I did nothing.
And you captured the Volkmar.
Yeah.
Who gave up. And after you had told him what Krehl has actually been doing, he started to regret his actions and asked for penance through helping you find where Krehl was doing his foul deeds. You survived the battles. I think there were a few injuries, but nothing severe. So you escaped with your skin. And you were sort of fast forwarded through to you leaving the Temple of Verena, collecting loot, fat loot from all of the bodies.
Yeah.
Lots of swords and armour and things. And a big lead box with a couple of bits of warpstone in that Torvald is holding. Make a willpower roll.
Passed.
Cool. Okay. And if I remember correctly, you were heading back to the two Griffins?
Yes.
Because it was still middle of the night, sort of 2 in the morning type thing.
Yeah.
You'd gone there in the middle of the night, got some equipment from the blacksmiths, from the Falkenberg blacksmith, and you had made your way there and done the deed. So
we
you
needed to be somewhere at some time to collect some stuff.
So in the
Which
afternoon,
definitely doesn't
I
sound
need to be-
vague.
Need to be back
Blunderbuss, wasn't it?
back at the where we just were
Mhm.
with me bits of paper so I can take delivery of blunderbusses
Our new possessions.
and stuff like that.
Yes. So there is a fine drizzle in the air as you make your way back to the two Griffins. The town seems different to you. The shanty town now, as you look around, rather than just a ruined and dilapidated area, you see in every shadow the eyes of chaos staring back at you. You are disturbed by the experience you've had beneath the earth, with the mutant, with the beak, the undead creatures. It has awakened you to this ever-present thing in the background, the stories of the war and all these things. They've become reality to you overnight. And as you get back to the two Griffins, you make your way into the tavern. There is a dwarf, the chap who was sketching previously that you met.
Is it Gramdrath the smith?
Yeah, he's nearly asleep at the side, still nursing a beer. And you arrive back. That's the only person in the tavern. One of the barmaids is still there, but everyone else has pretty much gone to bed. It's dark, it's late, it's raining. You are tired. Suddenly your arms and your legs are heavy and you feel the need to sleep. Do you want to do anything before you stumble off to your beds?
Yes. Let's have someone look at my injuries if I can.
Okay, the barmaid comes over. You do look like you're a bit worse for wears there, she says, staring at you, covered in blood and gore and mud and
Poo.
poo. Yeah, generally once again. I'll get one of the boys to draw a bath. Well, a big tub, she says, looking around at the four of you. And I'll see if that surgeon's still around to tend to your wounds.
Aye, thanks.
She runs off. She leaves a jug of ale, which looks like it's probably been sitting around for a while, and a few little horn cups on the side for you, just for your refreshment.
I'll pour some out.
Okay. After a while, a lad comes out from the side room where you had baths before. He's like, "Sorry, misters, but your tub's ready if you want to have a bath before bed."
Okay. Go.
Okay, you go out the back, and there is one big kind of tub type affair with just lots of hot water in it, and there seems to be a bar of some sort of greasy, waxy looking soap kind of sitting at the bottom of the bathtub.
At the bottom.
And he kind of points at some what look more like torn up sheets or curtains than towels off to one side, and says, "There you go." He kind of hangs around.
I'm going to jump in the bath because it must take them guys ages to get out of their armour.
Are you not going to get yours?
Straight in your armour.
Well, to be honest, my armour needs cleaning. I mean, my armour, I'm not covered in shit. My armour's covered in shit.
Okay.
Definitely not bad for the armour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you just jump into the...
Yeah.
And the
into
shit is just
Yeah.
floating on the surface of this
Do
big
this
metal
whole
tub.
thing.
Okay,
And then I'm going to jump out, and then I'm going to grab at least 2 towels.
okay, and
Just-
sort of...
Just
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
start cleaning.
Yeah,
my
there's
armour.
like a nice film on the water. There's a bit of mud, a bit of dirt. Is that a lump of mud floating in the water? You're not sure.
Yeah.
A bit of blood.
I'll get out my armour.
He was even wearing his boots when he went
I'll
in.
throw the kid a couple of coins.
What kind of coins?
Little ones.
Pennies? Okay.
Yeah, pennies.
He just
couple of
catches them.
pennies.
Cheers, mister! And he runs off.
Yeah. Oi! Clean my armour. I'll give him a couple more pennies.
Yes, mister!
Yeah.
He comes over and
Yeah,
says,
in your
and
head.
then with me, with my sword,
yeah.
and my backpack.
Yeah,
I'm going
in your
to
pants. Okay, cool. You're kind of stumbling
bed. Yeah.
through the rest of the building up to your room.
I'm going to wedge my bed against the door
Okay.
and sleep with my sword.
Okay. Well, make a willpower roll at plus 20% to see if you get much sleep.
Oh, stood up that days. Yeah, that's definitely going to pass.
You passed?
Yeah, he rolled
Like
17.
most definitely.
Okay, you go to sleep and you only have mild nightmares. There's also fire in your dreams.
Okay.
Okay, the rest of you scrub, wash, get yourself cleaned up,
Okay.
and you head off to bed.
Did the surgeon come?
The surgeon meets you in your room.
Alright.
And now that you're cleaned up, I'll take a look at you. He's kind of bleary-eyed. Oh, he's sort of what?
So he's on
sort of
minus 50.
pulling out different kitten pots and things. I think this one should help
I've
with
got
those.
some of the stuff that we
cuts
got
and-
from that woman. So.
Don't worry about that. And he starts to do a check on you. He is successful, and therefore you regain 5 wounds.
Marvellous.
Do any of your companions need my assistance? He says that'll be 2 crowns for my time.
I'll pay him.
Thank you. Do any of your guys? They said there were 4 of you. Are any more people?
Are you hurt?
I'm fine.
Very well. Then I will be to bed. I hope your wound heals nicely. Keep that compressed with the wrap around it while you sleep. Everyone make willpower checks at plus 20%, apart from Hartwin.
Not a single shit was given.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
7.
Okay.
Passed.
Passed. Okay. You're all so tired that even this horrible experience that you had is not enough to deter you from sleep.
Even
You've
if
seen
a very small
worse.
fire.
You don't dream of fire.
Yeah.
You dream of a green glow
Yeah.
in the distance, and you seem to be walking through strange tunnels, never able to put your hand on the green crystal that you know is making the glow.
Was the fight in my dream about when I burnt the heretics in my barn?
You think it is similar to that. As you walk through tunnels in your dream, you get to a door, which at first seems to be a dungeon door, but then grows into a barn door so big that you could get. Sorry, there's a fly. So big you could get a cart through it, but the doors are barred and flames lick up from beneath them and start to fill it. But you quickly move on, as you have been there before. You do not need to go there again. Okay, Hartwin,
Hey.
you arrive back at the two Griffins, and it is, unbeknownst to you, merely minutes since your fellow friends have returned, bathed, and gone to bed. You yourself have been prowling around the town, hunting for clues, which become apparent later. And you are tired yourself and head to bed. The morning comes, and you are awoken by sunlight through the window. The light of Sigmar graces you, and you think, I made it through the night. You dwarves aren't so worried, but still you are glad that it's daylight. And as the four of you make your way downstairs, you see that Hartwin is sitting having breakfast in the tavern. Your friend who you have not seen for a day or two.
Hello.
Not manling.
How's it going?
He's got Bagrick's got sort of bandages. He's
Oh no,
sort of
that'd be
moving,
under my. He wouldn't see.
but you're sort of moving a bit stiffly around the middle. So you were quite battered yesterday. So he looks like he'd been hurt yesterday.
Fair enough. Been hit by things?
Nothing I couldn't handle.
Oh,
Well, I guess that much. Have some food and call her.
Okay. She goes, yeah, okay, here you go. And she comes over with some more. There's some meat, there's some cheese, there's something that looks like it's probably bread.
Probably bread.
Oh, it looks
No,
too
no,
solid.
no.
Yeah, you just start to wolf it all down.
Is it like stone bread? Like warpstone?
No, it's not. No,
What are you
it's,
talking about?
it's
Soft as anything.
It's a stone loaf, but not stone bread.
It's as soft as anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you guys tuck into your a hearty breakfast. Remember, here in the Neustadt, you can actually taste the food that you've served up. And the where are we? The barmaid Berglinda from previous. You see her come in and she sort of waves and, oh, you fellas are okay,
We're all good.
and you've got everything you need.
Aye.
Good. Well, I'll be around if you need me. And she kind of wanders off. She kind of gives you a strange look.
Yeah.
She would be.
We walked out together.
Did you?
We did.
Did you know?
Oh, we did.
Are you telling me this in character?
Yeah.
All right.
We did.
Yeah, good for you then.
We held hands.
I look at it.
By the way, that's the most important activity of the last 2 days. It's the first thing that you tell Hartwin upon seeing him. Is
I feel like
held hands with the lady.
that's definitely in character though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Definitely,
Like,
that's how.
killed a whole bunch of things, but like we held
Is that like a metaphor or you literally?
No.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
You paid her.
You paid her for hand holding?
Well, actually, technically, money did cross palms, but that wasn't really. You're just getting all.
Were you holding
you're
out a
getting
tip
lots of things
and
confused.
as she went, you just held on, wouldn't because that does not count.
I haven't hit you yet. Let's not go there, shall we? Let's just not start the day like that. There's no need.
Oh, brilliant.
So that's a yes.
They bring you your glass of water. Your glass of river water. Yes. So you're all sitting there and you haven't seen Hartwin for a couple of days.
What have you been doing?
Killing manlings mostly.
We know him then.
Yeah, you guys don't know each other.
Yeah. Just like I'm just sitting there, like, just if I catch up with you, you're the stranger here. So,
Oh yeah, that's Hartwin.
hello.
He shoots stuff from the back.
Super. I was down the back too, but only because he kills everything anyway. So
Have you been killing more things?
Well, I didn't want him to get hurt because he's a bit of a fop, really. So I thought I'd better just kill it first.
Hey, he's got a better swing on his arm than you do, manling. He
Fair, the
chopped a
last man
bugger in
attack,
half.
He did get cut in half.
Yeah, he
Through a
right.
chain
He
shirt.
did cut someone up. I'm not denying any of these things.
I'm still not sure how that happened. I'm entirely convinced that was all me.
Something to do with dice? I'm not sure.
I don't
more
think there's any
thinking divine
gambling.
inspiration.
He rolled 5 10s in a row on damage and
Yeah.
got a 56.
Yeah, I heard.
So we have come into some loot. I'm sure that you'll share.
Also,
with me,
Torvald's holding a giant lead box.
Apprehensively.
After we're done with breakfast, first thing we should do is get rid of that.
What is it?
You don't want to know.
We'll tell you later. This isn't the
Somewhere,
place.
this is not something that we need to discuss here.
And I got a house.
You bought a house?
Well, I'm going to have a house. Well, I did. Technically, I bought it, but only technically.
It may have been bought with a single punch and the possibility of some documentation that we now hold on to.
Yeah.
So you stole
We're
the
gonna
house.
get a blunderbuss. How cool's that?
Any of you know where
None
in
of
the
us can
temple-
shoot it, so we're gonna get a
I
blunderbuss.
can't shoot a blunderbuss.
Well,
I've never shot a blunderbuss.
you're gonna be so unappreciative of not learn how to shoot a blunderbuss after you've been given a blunderbuss.
Is it not just pointed in a direction and everything in
They're,
that direction?
they're worth a lot of gold at worst.
Oh, okay. I think they're just gonna sell it.
I don't know much about it,
Is
but
there-
it's pretty much.
Any of you lot know if there's a
Fuck everything
Templar
over there.
Sigma around here? There must be one somewhere.
If I'd been walking around, I'd probably know where one was.
Yeah, you know, in fact, both of you know that there's one in the shantytown area that actually takes in a lot of homeless and gives out a lot of alms to the poor. Therefore, it's quite a well-known church, a temple in the area because of that.
So this Temple of Sigmar is arming the poor for some reason, so we should go there.
Giving alums. Alums?
I had arms.
No, not
Spelled the same way.
cash.
or said the same way.
All right.
Alms
okay.
for the poor.
Alms.
Arms for the poor.
Yes.
I think that's probably the best place to take this box.
Okay. So you eat your breakfast.
I tell them what I've been doing. What have I been doing? I can't remember.
So what you have been doing is you have been investigating. Hartwin has been looking around for clues into Krehl, who he saw infect that man's mind with fear, and that has been locked in Hartwin's mind that this person is clearly more dangerous than some merchants dressed up in robes, and potentially this is the person behind everything. So while you guys have been hunting, checking out Auenheimer's house, and then the temple, Hartwin tells you that he knows where Krehl's hut is,
Aye, we know that. It's by the blind pig, isn't it?
and he's been there and seen a priest in tattered robes banging on the door and shouting about homeless people and the temple, and that people from the blind pig, this priest was so out of control that some do-gooders, if there are any at the blind pig, came out and took him away so that he wouldn't be causing a disturbance and putting off their patrons in the area. It's only just down the road from the pub, and very near the sewer outlets for that area into the river.
So what happened to our little hostage?
What did you?
I mean, willing helper.
He's waiting in one of your rooms,
Yeah, because he was injured
He
quite
was
badly.
willing.
and the surgeon is actually going to go and tend to his wounds this morning. And it'll probably take most of the day for him to heal him because you guys sort of hacked a few chunks out of
And
him.
we have to
Well, you smashed his arm, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
we have to decide whether or not we're going to go and deal with Krehl before the ball
There's a ball.
tonight.
So there was a party this evening
Yeah.
at the university, which Auenheimer had an invitation to. It does occur to you that they may know who Auenheimer is because you now have documentation to say that Auenheimer is in communication with someone who's at the party.
Yeah.
So they may be looking out for Auenheimer and if his invitation were to turn up in someone else's hands, they might notice.
Well, at some point they're going to realise that the watch have got Ahrenheimer's body. That will at some point appear. So there's a few pressing things to take care of.
Well, also got a big bag of swag.
We do.
It may as well have a gold crown sign on.
Yeah. We've got lots of swords and armour and stuff.
Yes.
Have you got any leg armour?
No.
That's the reason they all died.
Yeah, it was.
Actually,
Through feet and knees and things.
Yeah, pretty much.
And mainly the left arm.
There was a lot of left arm action.
Left
last
arm,
time.
right leg. There was always opposing.
Yeah.
I
twisted.
would like to go and search Ahrenheimer's property because basically that was the last place anyone was. And if there were any of the bodyguards left over, that's where they'll be.
All right. Well,
I don't think there will be any, but I think we should go and clear that up.
And
first
see what
things
else we can
first.
find.
And we might find other stuff upstairs.
First things first. We get rid of that box.
It needs to be destroyed.
I have no problem
What's in the
destroying
box?
What's in the
We'll
box?
tell you somewhere where it's a bit
What's in the
private.
box?
Yeah. Well, not one to split the party. I don't need
No,
to.
So some of you go to the Temple of Sigmar, and some of you go to Ahrenheimer's house.
Yeah. I think.
Why not to the house?
I'll go to the house. I don't know what's in the box.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. So
Are you not curious?
Hartwin and Alvin, reunited,
Yeah.
are going to go to Ahrenheimer's house, and the rest
Cool.
of you are going to go to the Temple of Sigmar in the shantytown to hand over the box full of warpstone.
Who said that?
Okay, so we shall do the temple first. You guys head out, having had your breakfast.
Oh, meet back at the pub after.
Yeah.
Like it.
It's
Like a proper dwarf.
Let's leave the country.
No.
You guys head into the shantytown. Again, you walk through down Commerce Street and then head towards the docks. You head past the statue fountain of Karl Franz, where you see your little old lady Gilberta plying her trade over in the corner. She kind of waves at the dwarfs as you go by. And you head down into Shantytown, and again the buildings here start to look more crumbled, more I don't know, as if things underground have shifted as well, that you now have experienced yourself. And you can see that this whole area has been destabilised and the foundations knackered from beneath. You're starting to understand why maybe this whole area is in such ruin. And you eventually end up following lots of locals who are heading to the temple for prayer. And you can see there's a fairly modest looking temple of Sigmar, and there is a priest out the front who is welcoming the people in. Greetings, hello, welcome, come in. Yes, don't worry. We will help you, don't worry. And there seem to be lots of poor people. Their clothes are tattered, their toes are poking out of their boots, their hats are tattered and falling apart. And you kind of end up sort of joining this kind of queue of people that are heading up to the temple. And eventually you get to the front, and the priest says, good morning, my friends. My dwarven friends. It is a pleasure to have some of your kind here in the walls of Sigmar. Greetings. I am Ingmar, a humble priest here, looking after our flock and those who wish to sing in the light of Sigmar. He rains his blessings down upon all of us on this fine day, and he points up. It's quite cloudy. He seems to be quite a positive person. Please, are you here to pray?
We need a word somewhere private if we can.
We have 2 pieces of business to attend to today.
Business. Well, I have maybe a quarter hour before the sermon begins. We can go to my chamber. It's very modest. He sort of turns and sort of goes into the church. You can see lots of people now sitting in sort of seats and pews and throughout the chamber. and there is an altar at the far end. And he sort of goes around the outside so as not to disturb anyone, and goes to a side door. Sort of leads you into it's a simple room, and it has a cot in the corner, has a desk with some papers. There are some books which are obviously scripture, and he sort of sits down in a simple chair and points to a bench that looks like it's where people come in and sit and talk to him. Please be seated. You mentioned business. This must be important. This tone is grave.
We have something that we feel you are best placed to deal with. And
Very
I'll
well.
sling the box off and place it down in front of me. I would suggest you take great care with this, and I'll sort of just gently and open it slightly to give him a view.
Just before you do, he puts his hand out and sort of puts it on the lid. Do not worry, brother. I shall tend to this. And he picks it up and puts it on his table. And you suddenly get a sense of light coming from him, but there's no change in the room. This feeling of this kind of wash over you, and it feels good. And he kind of holds the box, and then you see him sort of adjust the ring on his hand. He says, "Yes, this is powerful." He says, sort of just poking the lid open slightly. I can sense it even through this lead here. There is a powerful confluence of chaos within this warpstone here. Where did you find this, may I ask? Why do you carry it around the city with you, other than to bring it here?
We found it underground under the Temple of Verena, the ruined one in the slums.
Really?
Some bad people were after it.
It's just disturbing.
Our dwarven friends were sent there on a mission. I happened to be with them purely through the chance of fate.
Well, maybe it is Sigmar's doing, bringing you to me. I feel you have brought this to the right place. Although I live here in modest means, am probably one of the few people who can help you with this.
Well, we weren't going to take it to a wizard.
Definitely.
They'd
not.
probably use it for ill means.
Yes, and probably best to keep it away from the university as well. I will do my best to dispose of this, and I shall contact some of my peers to aid me in this. This is powerful magic. I just need to borrow these bits of paper for that. That's not what he says. Where are we? Not that one. Aha. Yes, however, you've mentioned the Temple of Verena. Do you mean the one nearby, here in the shantytown?
Aye.
Well, then I have someone who needs to talk to you. Well, unfortunately, he has fallen upon dark days, Father Galterius. He was the priest resident in the temple. I've heard that he is taken up residence at a different house. The Blind Pig. He has taken to drink in the dark days that have come upon him. I feel his faith is failing him. However, this news may bring him some solace. So I will do my best to, perhaps I will go find him, or if you wish to find him yourselves and pass on this good news, then maybe his pain will lessen. It is a horrible sight to see someone of faith fall so low and have no way to bring them back. Maybe my effort in this is to quell the power within this warpstone. Maybe you may help me by returning his temple to good stead, as it seems you have done.
I've seen what this can do to a man. Some of the homeless people that have been disappearing, we saw what became of them.
It is vile and disgusting, and a true corruption of the form that we should have and that all creatures should have. Chaos is insipid. It creeps in when you least expect it. Gets in through the cracks in your armour, no matter how thick it is. He says, looking at Bagric, you must be careful. You must be careful.
We know more of this stuff than you manlings would let us believe. We know how dangerous it is. We've been facing it for thousands of years.
Of course, I understand. Very well, I shall deal with this. You said you had 2 matters of business.
Yeah, the second is more personal. Having seen this, and I believe the only thing that can really combat it is my faith. And I take it the symbol of Sigmar.
And he sort of bows his head.
I would wish to pledge my life to the service of Sigmar, but I'm not sure how to go about it. I don't want to. I would like to stay with these dwarven friends of ours. To
Well, stay close to the dwarves, and you stay close to Sigmar as well. He was a great friend of the dwarves.
I give Torvald a bit of a glance.
Good Betty.
Well, acknowledging this and saying these words here within these walls is the first step. You can devote your life to Sigmar from now on, and that is up to you. If you wish to join us in our order and to wear the cloth and to be a man of Sigmar, this can be seen to. We will need some reference, we will need some time, but I think this can be done. If you are on a mission from Sigmar himself, as it seems fate has brought you together with these dwarves here to rid the world of this disgusting material, then perhaps he has sent you to me to take you on the right path.
I would hope so.
Very well. Well, let us talk further. Return here after you have done this, and we shall see about you becoming one of the Order. I know not of your previous life, but it matters not to me if you pledge your life to our Lord.
No, thanks. Cross myself, Lord. To make the side of the hammer.
Sure, the upside down hammer.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. I must attend to this then. I shall have one of my initiates conduct the sermon. But until we meet again, good luck, and may Sigmar go with you.
Thanks.
Trying not to giggle at it.
Yeah.
I know they respect him, it's just a bit kind of awkward. Dwarves don't really do gods, they've got ancestors, they're different.
Yeah, that's it.
Surely Sigmar all would be.
No, they respect Sigmar, they don't really respect so much the others.
Yeah.
He looks to get on with some stuff, and you guys kind of take it as your cue to leave.
Yeah.
But he says, one moment, your name?
Sigbert Altman von Schultz.
The Reichland Schultz.
Yes, the town of Schultz.
Yes.
The Altman family.
Excellent. Very well. Well, in case you should die, or I should die, or we should never see each other again, he reaches under the table and pulls out a Hessian bundle and passes it over to you. Bring these next time you come to the temple, and we shall see about how good a fit they have. And he turns to do his work. Very well. And you guys leave. Okay. So, Alvin and Hartwin, you have gone to Auenheimer's house, which wasn't far from the two Griffins.
Just around the corner. I mean, you could always lean out the window and see it if it wasn't for it being all around the corner.
And you go around the corner. You go around the corner and you walk a bit further, and you go around another corner, and then you walk a bit further, and there is Auenheimer's house.
Yeah.
It is dead. There is no activity. It seems to be locked up. It's a 3-story building, so ground floor, first floor, second floor.
Yeah.
Because we're in Britain. And Warhammer's British. Anyway. Oh, sorry. Got me political.
Down the side alley.
Yep. The back door.
Yeah.
Okay.
The barred one.
Lift the bar.
You're going to try and lift the bar. You're going to
I'm not
smash
gonna
it.
try and lift the bar.
Okay.
I'm going to lift the bar.
Okay. Do a roll.
No.
It's fine. Unlike some people, I use fortune points. I lift the bar.
Okay. So you slide your blade in through the gap, and it's very difficult to lift that much weight at the end of a length.
No, it's not.
So you use your fortune and slide it up, and you hear the bar slide off and hit the floor.
Yeah. God, I hope it doesn't damage the floor. It's a nice floor there.
It's not tile. Okay.
The,
So you go in, and this is
Yeah.
the kitchen area, the back room,
Yeah.
and everything is.
so this is the wizard we burnt. This is his house,
Right.
but it's not
The
his house
merchant.
anymore.
The
It's
merchant.
now-
The
it's now
merchant.
my house.
Yeah.
So I decided it's my house.
And
And it's really close to the pub.
it is close to the pub.
Yeah.
There's a central corridor. There's a hallway. There is some sort of drawing room. If you remember, where Leopold, who you punched to death through the neck, came to talk to you with documents.
Yeah.
So then maybe you think that it may act as some sort of meeting room for him and other merchants, maybe. So that's probably high on your list to check out.
Yeah.
Upstairs, there are various rooms, bedrooms and things. You can plunder the whole house if you wish to, or you can
No.
just
We
sort
just
of
wanted
take
to see if there's any more information regarding regarding his property and any more information. Yeah. Or if there's any satanic symbols in the attic and stuff like that.
Satanic.
Satanic. Oh yeah.
So
Chaos.
I'll say
Sorry. Chaos.
Yeah.
I'll check the top floor and go for that.
Yeah.
But if I do find any valuables, I will steal them.
Okay, cool.
That's fine.
Right.
It's okay.
Okay, so you find some valuables. Oddities. Oh, oddities.
You find a lamp shaped
I'll
like a
check-
trying to
pigeon.
find mine.
I'll check the
lamp shaped
downstairs,
like a
which
pigeon.
I've been to before.
You said
So you
oddities.
go into the drawing room,
Yeah.
and there is a desk.
Yeah.
With a nice lid. There's a little lock that you kind of pop it open. There's no key nearby. You check the room. You can't find the key. You assume that Auenheimer would probably keep that somewhere safe, somewhere else in there. So you do it fairly carefully, so you can maybe try and fix it later. And inside there's various papers, various documents. There's a ledger with lots of trade information of all, because it's with the dyers.
Yeah.
And there's various documents, various bulletins about different buildings around the town, about buildings up for sale, buildings that are vacant. The watch is keeping an eye on certain places because there's been activity. It seems that he's picked up flyers and things from around bulletin boards in the town to maybe figure out in town where weird stuff's going on.
Yeah.
You don't find the deed for this property in that drawer, but you do find 27 gold crowns. Hartwin, you find, as you're going around the top floor, his chamber is on this top floor. And it's very well decked out, probably a little gaudy. There's a lot of velvet, a lot of satin and stuff going on. Well above his means is kind of opulence.
All the velvet and satin I do stroke on the way past.
Okay, it's nice. It's very nice.
If I see any fancy trousers,
There are some pantaloons.
if there are some,
They're ruffled pantaloons with the kind of splits down them.
I'm literally just putting them on.
Yeah, and they are purple with yellow innards.
Oh, very nice.
I'm wearing them on top of my armour.
Okay, you're wearing them.
Yeah.
Okay, you're wandering around the house in his fancy pantaloons.
Yeah.
Cool. In the bedroom, there are two large paintings. one of him
Ooh.
wearing the fancy pantaloons, holding a sword and looking very heroic.
I copy the pose.
Okay.
Just for a second.
And the other one is a painting of a landscape. Doesn't seem to be known. Seems to be somewhere else.
Check behind the paintings.
Check behind the paintings. There are no safes or those kinds of things. You check under his bed, and there's a box with a lock on it. Some sort of chest. Sort of a long flat thing that slides under his bed.
Get it. Smash it open.
You smash it open. Inside, you find 167 gold crowns. You also find a bag of gems. Yeah? And you find a few scroll cases. Yes. You also find a couple of bottles. One that looks like something you guys have drunk before, sort of a healing draft type. And another one that is very small and is sort of like a, when you hold it up to the light, it's kind of a pink colour.
Bottle of small pink colour. Excellent.
Yes.
Drink it, see what happens.
Are there scrolls in the scroll cases?
In one of the scroll cases is the deeds to the house.
Right.
And in the others, there are strange scrolls with one of them you think might be made out of skin. And they have strange writing on them that you cannot read.
Right. I will stash the gems, the money, and the bottles.
Okay.
And then holler for.
Okay. You both kind of searched your rooms, and you hear him shouting from upstairs.
I shall come up.
Okay.
I say, I found your deeds.
Wicked! You found some pantaloons.
I did.
Very fetching.
They look like they're slightly tearing in the gusset
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
you're wearing it over your arm.
Yeah, that's fine. I stand in front of the painting of the guy and do the pose. And go, yeah.
Cool. Deeds. Wicked. We need these.
Yep. Cool. So you have the deeds to Auenheimer's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 2 strange scrolls.
I still have the strange scrolls. I just show some of the writing to you. Did you recognise that writing?
It looks like the runes that were carved on the floor under the temple.
That's Chaos script.
Oh, let's give it to the dwarves. They like that stuff.
The scroll case is nice.
They are nice. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think we keep the scroll cases.
Well, you've got the scroll case for the deed.
Well, I know it's a very nice deed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's like that one's a black leather scroll case that's got very clean silver kind of rivet punch tacks holding it together. So it looks quite smart.
Yeah, so you keep the other cases and I'll hand just these scrolls to the other 2.
This room is a lot more gaudily decked out than the rest of the house, which you think has got rooms mainly for entertaining rather than servants. So this looks like it's his fancy townhouse, and maybe his servants live nearby, would come in and clean the house, those kind of activities, and cook. So he has everything for them, but maybe, considering his personal pastimes, he doesn't want servants hanging around in his house. Make perception rolls.
Which one's perception?
8.
It's on your intelligence.
Yeah.
Unless you have a benefit.
If it's not plus anything, no.
Okay.
I passed on 8.
So you're like, oh, I wonder if there's another box under the bed. So you kind of pull up the sheets and get down and look underneath, and then you notice that on the underneath of the bed there is some kind of scrawling and a circular pattern.
Alright. We need to burn the bed. We'll have to. I'll chop it up.
This is like, I'll
chop it up. Take it into the garden.
with your magic sword.
Hang on,
No, I'm not going to chop it up with a magic sword.
is that writing the same as this writing on here?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do you want to burn it here or do you want to burn it outside?
Oh, and we're not burning it in my new house.
Well, why don't we open the window, smash it, check out the window, burn it outside?
Okay, well, We're not going to smash the windows.
No, open the window.
Okay.
Smash the bed.
I've never
Bed
seen
out of the
Wait for them
window.
to work out
Okay.
there's a fireplace.
It's not how big is the
We're not going to burn
fireplace.
chaos wood
Inside the house.
inside the house.
It's your house.
Inside the mostly wooden house.
Chaos wood sounds very
Open,
slummy.
well, they must have got a bed. They must have got a bed in here. How did they get the bed in here?
Okay. We will.
There's a large window.
Yeah.
Right, well, just chuck the bed out there.
We'll, into the back garden.
There's no garden. There's no garden. It's a town. It's just a townhouse.
Townhouse,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Backs onto other buildings
Listen,
and
don't-
alleyways.
Don't worry about it. Right, I'll sort it out.
I know a guy.
Hey, I know an urchin. He knows.
Oh yeah,
the guy.
yeah, you do.
It's your house. You can do what you want.
I've
but
got, like, bucket load.
I'm telling the other two that you've got a chaos bed.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I don't mind. Yeah, yeah.
It's your bed. You can do what
Yeah.
you want with it.
Why? Look, your pockets seem to have grown exponentially.
That's the pantaloons, mate.
Oh, right, okay. I'll concentrate more on the bed.
All right.
I shall use my very strong to just break it up. Okay.
Okay.
Just-
You're gonna smash the bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll take
You
it
spend
down.
some time smashing the bed up.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll go looking around the other floors if they're
Okay.
You
There's
went downstairs.
the most important things in the house are in his bedroom and in the drawing room. The rest is kind of entertaining chambers. There's some fancy things. You do find sort of bits and bobs around the house, sort of vases, silver pouring jugs, things like that you think might be worth, some
Do I
money.
find any armour?
You don't find any armour. It's more of an entertaining sex boudoir type house rather than.
Sex boudoir. I'm getting more and more jealous of him owning this house, but he's claimed it with his chaos
Hey,
bed.
there are 6 bedrooms.
Yeah.
2 on the very top floor and 4 on the floor below.
I actually go and check the other beds, like underneath them.
There's nothing under the other beds.
All right. I go back and say to Evan, "You've got the only chaos bed. Oh, you smashed it."
Yeah, there's a big pile of smashed stuff.
Do you know who you remind me of? Go, hello, my name's Alvin. I'm made of rocks.
Yeah.
Piss off, ghost! Or in this case, piss off, chaos bed. Okay.
Yeah.
So you make a good accounting of pretty much everything that's in Alnheim's house, and you have the deeds,
Yeah, and you have a deed, so I'm going to take these chaos
and you
beds.
find a spare set of keys
Cool.
to the property.
Wicked.
Do you want to make some more of those in case you die or lose them?
Yes, I will. Make some
They
more.
find the deed to the temple.
No, because it's in someone else's
Krehl.
possession.
Krehl.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys kind of end up. You realise you're now just fighting around, smashing up wood and wearing pantaloons, and it's probably time to head back to meet the guys
I'll head back.
at the pub.
Yeah.
I do just rip the pantaloons off.
They are tear-off pants. So they've got very loose buttons down the sides, and you
Just a dagger and go,
Okay.
Tear off heroic pantaloons.
Yeah, huzzah! Okay. Anyway, before we descend into Slanesh,
When we get back
was
to
a
the
chaos
tavern,
yes,
I shall tell Vogmar that we now have another way of identifying Krehl. We will not need him to do that,
okay.
but that he can do certain other
He,
ways.
to be fair, you leave the message with the surgeon because he is asleep,
Yeah.
and the surgeon says, "Write it down, and I'll pass the note to him, just in case you're dead."
Yeah.
You always seem to be coming back covered in blood.
Yeah.
These are obviously difficult days for the city. I hope
We've
that
met 2 people and both of them said, just in case you're dead. In case you're dead.
this is
And I shall.
this is Woofrup.
I
Yeah,
shall,
they're used to that.
I shall get an urchin to go and get a locksmith
Mhm.
to go to the house and fix the back door.
Okay,
They're going to say, change
Cool.
the lock.
I'm going to ask the
5 gold crowns.
the bar people who are
Yes.
there if they recognise a bottle of small pink.
Berglinda says, "Oh, that's useful." She says, slightly embarrassed.
Useful
Sex
for
dungeon.
me.
For either,
Really?
yes. I
Nice.
believe that there is a. Normally, it comes in a powder form. but this has been like concentrated. So just sip it. I think that's you could probably get 5 nights out of that.
Right.
But yes, just be careful. It gives you vigour. So careful when you
Are
drink
you still wearing the pantaloons?
Pantaloons on.
Just checking.
But he has other pantaloons on underneath.
Yeah.
My secret pantaloons.
I'll rip those off in a minute.
Can I quickly buy some armour? Is there time to go shopping or not really?
Before you get back to the pub, it's just around the corner. It's up to you if you want to go and buy some.
We are
some-
going to get some more armour.
Okay, I'll wait.
We are going to get some more armour soon.
Hold on a hammer.
Okay, right. So you guys all return to the 2 Griffins, and
Dwarves.
you all arrive together.
I've got a present for you, but you might not be too happy. What's your name?
Alvin.
In
Mr.
character.
Folks.
Yeah, Alvin's
No, it's Alvin.
smashed up a chaos bed.
You're going to get a really weird look when you say chaos bed. What, we're trying to kill you or something?
Did it have a beak?
Everyone make perception
The
rolls.
last chaos thing I came across had a beak.
9! Woohoo!
Cool.
I'm using all my good rolls!
Rolling really well today.
Not
Falling
even
on-
close.
Not even
Yes.
Okay. The elf is in the tavern, and at the words chaos bed, you see an ear go out the side of a hood. And there's a slight movement of the head, but then there's a very controlled, measured return back to what I'm doing.
So he, we searched the guy's house, and on the bottom of his bed there was a chaos symbol.
The symbol.
The symbol.
Oh, you burnt it.
He smashed
We
it.
chopped it up.
You need to burn it.
Well, of course we need to burn it.
He didn't want to burn his house down. We found the deeds to the house.
I need another beer.
It's got a fireplace on it.
Also, is the fire burning in the tavern? Is the fire burning in the tavern?
There is a fire in the tavern.
Come over here. And I'll just walk over next to the fire and hand these 2 scrolls.
So one of them looks like it may be leather, and the other one is parchment.
Very, very pale leather.
And yeah.
very pale, screaming.
And
Screaming.
It's got a
is that an
sense.
earlobe?
I know weirdest fucking I'm just an earlobe.
Just an
Not
ear.
the whole
That's where
ear.
you hold
The whole back of the head
That's
and
where you-
just an earlobe.
So you hold it.
The spine of the book
They've
is
just
a
shaved
nutsack.
the hair.
Just like to hold it up and go,
Is that where you put the candle?
Yes. Tuck a little candle in it, and they've shaved the hair so that
It's
there's gaps.
just a lobe. It's just a lobe. It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Yeah, it's like a bookmark. You can turn it over.
I thought it was
Anyway.
like one of those early fidget toys.
It's like a chaos fidget spinner.
A fidget spinner.
So
made
as
of
you're
a
reading
human
your
ear.
chaos scroll, you can
Okay.
flick your
Yeah,
earlobe.
yeah, yeah.
That doesn't look right, mate.
Okay. So he passes you to the skin and the paper, and they clearly have dark chaos language written
As soon
on
as
them.
I see that, I'm just throwing them straight into the fire.
Okay.
No 2 thoughts about it. Just
In the fire.
Okay. You throw them in the fire.
Yeah, they scream.
Make everyone in the room make a willpower.
balls.
do we get resistance
Everyone
magic?
in the
You
room,
do.
make a will.
Resistance magic.
That's
Everyone
the
make-
barmaid.
Yep, I'm rolling for
All
them.
of the everyone.
I'm rolling
Oh,
for
I
them.
actually
We've had
passed.
this before, haven't
I'm
we?
good.
I like half people in the bar
On a
just drunk.
train. Remember? On a train.
Oh no! It's not that kind of thing. It's not that kind of thing.
Okay.
That was people's heads exploding. That was
Yes,
That was proper bad.
That one you failed.
I failed.
well, the staff passed, so they're just like. Huh?
Now, what about the elf? Does he go?
Like really, really.
It does. He goes. Woo, woo. His ears poke out of his head. And you hear a scream
Okay.
coming from the fire,
Yeah.
and you sort of turn, and the elf turns. Anyone else fail?
No.
No. Okay, you're like, what the fuck was that? It's like,
I've got a bloody
scream
great big
coming up.
sword in my hand.
it's out. Okay. For
I've
some
got that.
reason,
I've got the fucking
Piss off,
eyes. I've got
you
the
all
eyes going on.
you were all slightly disturbed for a moment,
Yeah.
like vertigo sort of thing. You heard the scream. You throw it into the fire, and you watch, and the script on the thing glows red as it burns, and it's almost like the the writing is trying to hold the parchment together, and then it kind of collapses and it can't do it, and there's a little puff of smoke and ash. You feel better. It feels good to have burnt that.
See? Burn it.
Alvin, we may
You
have
might
to
want to
burn
put
your
that
bed.
away,
Sorry.
manling.
Put my sword
Take
away.
1 insanity point.
Oh, that's okay.
Ha! We
That's
made the
okay.
elf go insane as well.
Because I don't get affected by insanity points till I'm way past insanity.
Yeah, me too. Strong minded.
Got a skill.
I love,
Oh,
I love your
fine.
optimism at
Okay.
how long that's going to be.
Yeah. Cool.
I've got to find on my character sheet where insanity points are. Woohoo! This might take a while.
Probably a big box right at the front.
Oh, IP.
Yeah.
I've got 1.
Yeah.
Intellectual property.
Not anymore.
Start with
I've
one.
got 3 apps.
No, you didn't start with one. Yeah, you took one as a character trait.
Cool.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because of your fire problems.
Yeah. I haven't burned anything down in ages.
No, you haven't.
You didn't even try and burn the bed.
No, I'm going
Very
to take that with me and use it as kindling underneath.
You're going to take
I'm gonna-
okay.
Yeah,
Is
so I'm
it-
going to basically go to Krehl's house and just start stashing the front door full of chaos bed. And
So
That might get
you've
You want to
seen-
take
so
chaos
you have
beds to
seen
chaos
his house.
sorcerer.
no, I'm not. I'm
His
joking.
house is a lean-to wooden, what looks like a shed.
Burn
It's
it.
probably 10 foot aside,
Definitely burn it.
and the locals have told you that lots of homeless people and poor people from the area have been taken in as if to help them and never been seen again. Strange things are going
How
on in
big
that.
Let's go find out. This
Let's go burn it.
There's a lot of chaosy stuff around here. At the moment.
Well,
do I
first,
notice?
I
this
need to
elf
empty
thing
out
went,
the
"Whoa."
swag bag.
Did you pass your
Yeah.
perception roll?
Not initially, but he's.
Oh,
he's
for the second one,
yeah.
make a roll.
We should
80.
also probably
No.
return
shit.
the
You're
stuff
just you were slightly. Whoa.
Yeah.
back
disturbed
to
by it.
its.
Oh, we should.
And I need to go and speak to a certain
You
dwarf.
need to go and see Gromdrath.
Yeah,
I need to buy some
Your
armor.
Your armour's
Yeah.
ready.
it should be.
You can go with yeah.
I need a weapon.
Sounds like a trip to the blacksmith.
Well, if you
says
want
the
a weapon,
barman as he comes in with some ales.
Yeah.
There you go. Sounds like a trip to the blacksmith. See you later.
if you want a weapon, go to the one we're going to, made by a dwarf.
I don't know if I can.
Except
Before
I
we
want
go-
an elven longbow, so that might not work.
Did we spot the sort of the elf
I know.
sort of
You
flinching?
did.
I will sort of grab a drink and move over and quietly speak to him in Elvish because I can speak that.
Not him.
He said Elvishness last week.
Hey!
Stitch this. Stitch this. May I help you? This elf, you're not sure if the elf is a male or female. So obscured.
What are you going to say,
the
good
hood-
elf or bad?
There's no such thing as a
Go-
good elf.
Goatee beard. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely evil elf.
Yeah. No, the hood is up. Even though it's the middle of the day, this person obviously wants to be left alone and is facing. It's actually sitting with the back to the room, and they are looking at papers and documents as before and sort of writing things down. Make a perception roll.
7.
Okay. You notice 2 things. 1, a sketch of a shed,
Mm-hmm.
and 2, the word Hartwin in Elvish. Well, Hartwin is a proper noun, so it's just Hartwin. But it's fancy writing, and it's scrawled in amongst other sort of but he kind of they close the book quickly. May I help you?
You seemed unsettled. I was seeing if I could help.
I'm unsettled by the rather clumsy dealings with such powerful magical elements. These things need to be dealt with properly.
This may be true. My brother, however, is a simple man, and he deals
Aren't you all?
some more than others.
I'm glad I'm
Some
on here.
more than others.
Some punching could be going on.
This is an elvish. It doesn't
It's in Elvish.
Yeah, if I could understand it, I'd be punching him.
You probably just go anyway because he's talking in Elvish.
You're resisting the urge to punch your brother because he's currently talking.
I think that'd be quite hard to resist, actually.
You are
I'm probably
Correct.
looking pissed off.
those of you who take on the difficult task of learning my tongue. I do hold some glimmer of respect for. How may I be of service to you?
I think it may be that I can help you. I believe you may have been following a similar line to a friend of mine.
Ah, your hunter.
Yes, the man with the bow. Yes.
Is that how you distinguish between them?
Yes. they're all taller than me. I'm looking up at them the whole time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And we're the same height.
I have been following him because, unlike most of the manlings, he seems to be keen of eye and mind, and a decent tracker, and involved with you lot. And I myself am interested in the goings on in this city with the Sansavinos.
Sansevino.
You do recognise the word Sansevino?
Yep. And I'm guzzling my water. Sansevinos.
So you undoubtedly know of a gentleman down by the docks who seems to have some friends who may have gone walkabout recently?
You speak of the demonologist.
You seem to know more than me, but certainly...
Well, your friend seems to know more, and you have all been tracking him quite capably. I care not for him. He is a mere trivial element to me. I am here for Sansevino. If you can deal with some of his underlings while I deal with the real threat, then you will be of use to me.
I think we may be dealing with them anyway. If it suits you, if it suits your purpose to give us what information you can to help with this, I would be grateful. It would help.
From what I can tell, I have a sense for these things. There is something, some dark ritual is being conducted with the aid of some small fragments of warpstone.
Possibly a few less than.
Well, that is good. Obviously there's quite a bit of it beneath the city still that people go hunting for foolishly and end up dying or mutating or going insane. It is interesting to see that you have not yet.
We have some knowledge of this. We know to be careful, and we have been being very careful.
Well, from what I can gather, and your friend can probably corroborate this for me, he's been gathering a small force of homeless men. Down and outs, hopeless people who are willing to do anything for food, shelter, and a glimmer of hope, and the lie of chaos.
I wouldn't call them human anymore.
Well, neither would I. And I think he's wanting to use them to be a vessel for something worse. That piece of skin your brother just burnt, I believe, from the quick glance that I saw of it, was some sort of ritual. Something that people would prepare for over a long time.
Then it should be stopped.
Well, there's not always the way of these things. Sometimes someone may learn a ritual and commit it to memory, and do it with the components themselves, and willing vessels.
Then we stop them.
Very well.
Chaos should be stopped.
Indeed. I would consider that a worthwhile effort for you.
Well, as I've seen you here several times, I assume that you use this as some useful place to keep an eye on the area.
Yes, indeed. It is safe enough here, and public enough, and well known enough by many merchants that there's generally not trouble here. The fact that you have been able to walk into this pub twice covered in blood probably tells you that there are people looking after this place.
Well, we have a few dealings. We have a certain person to deal with for our own reasons as much as yours.
Mm-hmm.
We will probably deal with him, and hopefully this will help you. However, it would be useful to speak with you again.
Indeed.
May I know your name, sir? Or a name by which you wish to be known? I give you mine as a token of good faith. I am Torvald Rolfsson.
You may refer to me as Lair.
Thank you. In which case, I will not trespass on your time any longer, and we have certain things we have to do with ourselves.
As do I. But your friend is a skilled archer, I believe.
Indeed.
I have something that may be of use to you. And he goes into his into his cloak down the side, and he pulls out an arrow that has a small rune sort of traced into the head of it. This will fly true and strong.
Thank you. I know such gifts are not common.
They are not, but you are on a worthy mission, and I have little else to offer.
Thank
As
you.
as an elf, I do like arrows. Anyway, I must be about my business.
As must I. Thank you.
Going to grumble quite loudly in Cazalet, never trust an elf.
The elf gathers their things and sort of makes their way off to one of the rooms. You guys all watch as sort of Torvald comes away from the elf, clutching an arrow. It's a hard thing to hide suddenly.
Ooh, pretty!
I'll stop grumbling. In Cazalet to him.
Yeah.
You should know better.
I do know better.
Right, so we go in the blacksmith.
Hartwin,
Yeah.
apparently you've made a friend.
An arrow?
It's called Bert.
Oh, he burnt. He burnt.
Notice the rune on the head.
Mm-hmm.
This is important. This was given by that elf. They do not hand over such things lightly. Apparently, he's been watching you. Pervert.
Watch out for that one.
Watch. Take it. He says it flies true, but watch your step. An elf's watching. Don't trust him.
When you fire the arrow, if you
Just anyone.
hit, it is strength 5. And it counts as magical.
Magical.
Every time you shoot it, we'll make a percentile roll. On a 96 to 100, it is broken.
Can I re-roll the 96 to 100?
With a fortune point?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah. But because the arrowhead itself is the enchanted part of it. So you have to get the arrow remade or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
The arrowhead is magical and therefore probably very hard to break.
Nice.
The feather on it is a white feather with a little green streak through it on each of the them. Cool. Okay. So you want to go to the blacksmiths, to Falkenberg.
Yes, because
Okay.
they're quite good at trading stuff.
Okay. So you go to the Falkenberg blacksmiths.
With my
And
swag bag.
Gromdrath is there, and he's happy to. I'm not going to roleplay shopping standard items. If you want to buy standard items, go for it.
What about selling?
If you want to sell stuff, then you can sell it at half the price, unless you want to haggle with me.
I'm useless at haggling.
Okay.
Rick has no
Eventually,
skills
they're going to have
whatsoever.
so many swords, right?
You're
They're simply not
okay,
going to
I'll
be able to
give you
haggle.
a penny for that one.
So what? So I try and like just move a bit away so people don't see that I've got like a bag of gems.
Okay.
But I try and find someone that will just give me a price. I'm not interested in actually selling.
Gems at a blacksmith.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Yeah,
well,
well,
there's a
it's
dwarf.
half price.
There are dwarfs there, so
you can have,
yeah,
you can have
probably
like
a
a
good place.
ground made.
Yeah.
it's probably a good place
Oh,
to.
yeah, actually, for my pantaloons.
So a
Where would
dwarf,
you
one of the
put it?
dwarf blacksmiths there, one of the, he looks like he's fairly old, and a journeyman craftsman. He is working away. He's sort of working away and starts to take a break. And he kind of steps to the side and picks up a jug, starts drinking, and he's kind of on his own. And you kind of approach him. He looks at your gems.
I'll be very polite. I'll call him like whatever the correct, very right terms are for a master dwarf.
Sir.
Sir.
Yeah, master dwarf.
Master dwarf will
Yeah,
probably
master dwarf. Yeah. Hey up, lad. How can I help you?
Greetings, Master Dwarf. I've been recently come into possession of a bag of interesting items. I was wondering if they were worth anything, and just literally show him the bag, open the bag of gems. And
Oh, that's nice.
do you know what they are? I have no idea about these things.
An opening gambit.
Yeah.
He looks at you. Make a fellowship roll.
Make a fellowship roll. 74 failed miserably.
They're worth it.
Hello, what's this?
No, it's not
This is
necessarily
literally the
bad because he
character.
hasn't you haven't like critically failed or anything.
Glass beads.
You could walk in with a pair of dwarfs, it might help.
Yeah.
Well, young lad, most of that stuff is, pretty crap. But this one, he reaches in and pulls out. This one, I reckon. Where are we? Where is that? He holds up what looks like a pearl. That one, I think that's worth quite a bit.
Ooh.
Maybe a couple of hundred.
Really?
Aye. The rest, I reckon that bag is probably worth maybe 40.
Right.
Not more.
Because I'm after a full plate armor. That's my aim. And I've
Well,
got,
you got your leathers and your chain.
I've got my leathers. I haven't got my chains on my legs,
Aye.
so I need my chains on my leg.
Aye.
But I've got.
Well,
I've
you're
got-
pretty. Well, I mean, you're tall, but you're pretty standard for human, for
Yeah.
a manling.
Because full plate is 400.
Aye. Full.
And I've got
armor,
some
but you
gold.
need full mail armor on underneath,
Yeah.
on top of full leather armor.
So I need to spend another 20 on my legs.
Yeah, full plate armor. Oh no, that is everything, isn't it? Sorry, that is everything. Well, if you make up the difference, then we'll take the gems and some coin, and we'll fit you up for some armor. Plate is, we need to measure you up. It's not sort of off the shelf.
Oh,
Chain,
yeah.
we can. He points to a row of mannequins all covered in chainmail armor. You can take your pick. But
All right.
plate, I need to know the distance between your nipples, young man.
I give him the exact measurement.
He writes it down.
Or worse, Alvin does.
I'm
He saw you in the bag.
I'm busy looking at something else.
So if you give him the bag and 160 gold,
Yeah, that sounds good.
He will measure you up for a suit of full plate armor.
I
Sounds
currently have
good.
7 gold crowns. Because that's what my character started with. All you fuckers have like hundreds.
Oh no, I don't anymore.
But you're
Okay,
gonna have full
you
plate
guys
armor.
are like shopping, regular shopping. You want
I
to...
want
I'll
a hammer. because
I'll take the chain from my legs now.
Okay, cool.
I think if I can trade my...
Gromdrath comes over and goes, "Hey up, lads. How did it all go then?"
One or two problems, but we have everything turned out okay.
How did your new one work out?
Did alright, he's got a mean swing on him.
Oh, aye?
Yeah, a
In
mess.
Caslage took a manling an hour.
He holds up the chainmail that's got a big scoop out of the middle of it. What, that one?
Aye, that were him.
Well done, lads.
Yeah. It's the one hit. I'm still not entirely sure how it happened. And I'm like holding on the symbol.
Well, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a hammer. One-handed.
He sort of reaches over to the anvil and picks a hammer up,
No.
throws it at you. One of those?
Do you catch it? Do you actually catch it?
Can I roll?
You can roll. You can roll. Yeah.
Oh, I rolled.
Agility at plus 20. You see him. You know, he's-
Agility?
Yeah.
Oh god, no. 87.
Okay. You go like that. No. You go like that, and it just goes straight past your hand. He goes, pick it up.
looking for more something like I guess a flail or a maul. I don't know how you
Something
term it.
bigger.
Oh, Warhammer.
A Warhammer, but yeah, but it's Warhammer not two-handed.
Like one of these.
Yeah, shorter handle though.
Or one of those. You want one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's for meat.
Right, we can get you one of those.
That's for meat.
Yeah.
It's just missing the poke.
That's for
bit.
nails.
Put it in me.
No, I can do you one of those. You want anything fancy done with it? Your name written on it?
I don't have the gold for something fancy.
Well, I'm sure.
Do I hear
yeah.
that? Draw a willy on it.
A man willy or a dwarf willy? Anyway, right. Get about your shopping. Come on, the boys here.
I shall prefer my bag
Your
of
armour's
gold.
ready.
My armour's ready. Thank you very much.
Because I've got like loads of it. How much?
I've got like loads of it.
How much need?
Well,
It was
10 gold. for
everything,
a
wasn't it?
handle.
Full chain.
Yeah.
10 gold pound. I'll give
No,
it.
it was a
I'll give him
chain
10 gold.
Okay.
For the
the
handle.
coat, so it's everything,
Thank
everything
you.
but the
He
head.
hands you a
However,
hammer.
we can probably sort that out now.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
It's all right.
Do they have a
I'll
male
pay you back.
coif in
Oh,
Yeah,
honestly,
so
don't
you can
bother.
buy whatever you
What
want
about
to.
plate?
Yeah, they've got plates, but you'll need to be measured.
Alright.
I've already had my nipples. measured.
As you look over, you can see Hartwin sort of standing with his arms out, and a dwarf measuring his inner thigh.
Yeah, on one side,
Yeah, move
and
it
then
across.
moving to the other side and taking his sweet time.
Yeah,
I'm
in
just
prison.
repeatedly measuring your nipple.
Yeah.
Over and over.
I'm just standing there like this.
Okay, so you can buy gear and kit. You can sell your stuff at half price.
I just want to know how much my cut is. I shall sidle up to the dwarves and stand
I'm
there
sure they're
waiting.
going to tell you after
No.
you've done the sum.
I
The
can't
crossbow
imagine
bolts.
so.
Yeah.
Alright. Have 28 crossbow
Bargain.
bolts.
With
That's
some-
fine, we've got probably four or five crossbows between us.
Yeah,
You've
because
got
I've
a
got a crossbow.
I have
Out
a
of
bow.
character. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because I've got a crossbow with 20 odd bolts on it already. Because that's what I took, so
Yeah.
I don't
We can
need.
split the bolts between us.
Right. So he sells all the stuff, buys all the stuff you want to sell.
Alright.
He's very friendly to you at this point, so we
I
don't need to
give you a
worry.
bag of 30 gold.
Okay.
Um,
I'm assuming we all
Did
get
you-
a bag of 30 gold.
Well, I do.
we've been spending gold.
Okay.
Do I also get 50 gold?
Does
Oh,
Siegbert
yeah.
get? Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on, I hadn't
Right.
included him in the
Yeah.
transaction.
Less gold.
25.
Yeah, 20 gold. And you get 20 gold.
20 gold.
You don't
See?
need to buy my thing.
I
then.
told you. I told you.
You don't need to buy my thing then.
Okay, I won't buy your thing then.
Cool. So
Yeah, I'll do
you've
it.
got a new hammer. You've got your armor, Torvald. You guys are measured for. Who's measured for plate?
I would like to be measured for a plate breastplate.
Okay. Not just for the whole. They can take your measurements for your whole suit.
Alright, yeah, they can
And then
take
do it in parts.
Alright.
They'll record it, so they'll write it down. They know
Alright.
you now, and they're pretty sure you're going to come back and spend the money. Yeah.
Especially as we've brought back a certain collection of items that you should be returned to inventory.
Ah, right.
Well, technically we're going to sign
Surplus.
for them. Yes, I know, but then it's all properly dealt with.
Yeah, yeah. You stayed up way too late last night, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, business at the blacksmith is done, unless there's anything else you want to do.
I'll ask them if they perhaps know where I could buy a tiara. Nothing.
The dwarfs look at you.
Nothing particularly
No.
expensive.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to hand Gromdrath a gold
that elf.
and send put a twin-tail comet on the manling's hammer in Kazalid.
Alright. Hand that over here.
Okay.
Yeah. And he walks off. About 10 minutes later, he comes back, and he's put into. It's sort of, you can see him doing various things with tongs and chisels and things. There is an engraving of twin-tailed comet on the hammer. Present from your friend.
Thank you.
Seemed like a fitting weapon for someone what you're wanting to do.
Well, if I can swing like that again, I could do some real damage.
Alright. Well, sod off, I've got more work to do.
Really?
Yeah.
If you do
Someone will see you later, I think. Is that right? You're going back to...
Yeah,
Well,
we'll be
you
there
know,
midday.
you know.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
But it'll be afternoon, it'll be
So-
like...
Yeah, afternoon.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Can I just ask, because I don't have anything on it, how much is leather armor?
Full leather armour,
He says
25 gold crowns.
Oh, I'll put that later.
Have
I
you-
currently only have a chain shirt. So I'm
Yeah.
losing
Full chain,
if you've got a chain shirt, your leather will be on
full
under.
chain, full
I
chain,
don't
full
have
chain,
Sorry?
pants.
I don't have
I only
literally only
I
have
only
it.
needed the lower leg bit. I think.
You must.
Do you need
If you
some
take the
armour?
chain off the guy, there was a leather jack underneath it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, well then,
Yeah.
I have that, but I don't have anything like...
What, trousers?
Leather
are
jack
under
is
there?
body and arms. Leather leggings,
Yeah.
tight leather leggings,
Do they have to be tight?
always.
Especially on you, mate.
Yeah.
You gotta put talc on them.
Oh yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
first
yeah.
to get them on.
Oh yeah.
Don't want those
And
balloons.
they stitch you into them.
Hold on, so you
Sorry,
literally
we're carried away today.
So
I think
you
it's the
need a
chaos
skull
bits
cap and
instead.
trousers.
It's just gone,
Yeah.
it's just gone downhill from there.
13 gold for skull cap and trousers.
Yeah, I'll get that then while I'm there.
Yeah.
Are we going to go and do the before we go and get all the gear, or after we've got all the gear?
You've got like 5 hours until you get the gear.
Should
Let's just go.
Go bust up this guy's house?
Go and tidy up any loose ends.
Well, from the sound of it, if it's a tiny little shack, there's probably something underneath it, like we're at that temple.
Yeah.
Should go check it out and
Yeah.
burn it.
Okay. So you make your way
Um,
across town.
I will stop off by some of the stall holders,
Okay.
and basically I will find food stall holders.
Yep.
And I shall inquire if they would like to earn a little extra money, and doling out food for free. And I shall hand some.
You're going to
gold.
pay for it.
I'll hand out some gold coins.
Mhm.
So are we going straight there, aren't we? Ish.
Yeah, we're literally going there now.
Okay. So what? I'll give you 5 gold.
Thank you.
And I'll give 3 other of your trader buddies 5 gold to go down to this. I'll
Yeah,
tell
so
him
if you take
roughly where it is.
Yep.
You know,
Hold on.
And,
This is using a
and
crossbow.
hand out food to the
These
needy and poor.
Okay.
7
well-
each.
Sure. Well, I'll send one of the lads to do it.
Yeah, I assumed you
Sure.
wouldn't do it, but you know.
Yeah. Thank you. It's very kind of you. What's brought on this sudden benevolence?
I could tell you the real reason, but you wouldn't feel it quite so benevolent.
Okay.
Can we just go with the poor are going to get some food and water?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Praise Sigma.
Praise it, Mark. Right, turn it off. Oh yeah, I've still got me there. It's cool.
Okay. Cool. So you see some grocers, bakers, fishmongers start to, sounds like a nursery rhyme, start to gather some things together and head down towards the shantytown area.
Yeah, got us a distraction, lads.
Okay. So you guys follow a distance behind. You can see these guys they started talking to each other. They've got their little hand carts that they're sort of walking along the road with. And they sort of make their way down to the dock front near the Blind Pig. You pass through the ruined area where you got attacked by Sansevino thugs.
Is the head still on the pike?
No.
Ugh.
Head is not still on the pike.
You piked ahead.
You know that further down that road, as you go past it, is the Temple of Verena. And you sort of make your way off towards... you can see there are some ships in dock, because ships can actually get down here. It's quite a broad and deep river. And
I will comment as we walk past there. Oh, they took the head down.
the Blind Pig is a massive tavern down the road that you can see. And there's, even though it's sort of still before lunchtime, there's raucous activity, there's fighting, there's all kinds of things going on. It's bawdy behaviour from sailors and street thugs going on down there. And as you round the corner, you see this little kind of shed. It's made of wood, sort of 10 foot to a side. It's almost a sort of leaning at a funny angle. And it's nestled between 2 broken walls of an old building that has just kind of crumbled into dust around it. And it looks like it's been sort of built itself. And you can see that there are a cluster of homeless people sort of hanging around the area. But as the scent of food hits their noses, and the shouts of these hawkers who are saying free food, they cannot resist, and this group of 6 homeless men sort of go across to where these lads are handing out food, leaving this shack seemingly unattended.
I believe that's our cue.
Fine. I shall look around for someone who, I would say urchin, but someone localish who looks like they're.
Yeah, there are some
hanging
people
around.
moving through the area. It's not.
I shall ask one of them to do me a favour and press the
What
gold.
the fuck should I do you a favour?
Press a gold coin. into
Okay,
his
I'll do
hand.
you a favour.
Right. Say, there's a priest in the tavern.
Oh, the drunk priest.
Drunk priest.
Yeah.
Tell him that a good deed is being done in his presence, and he should come out and see.
Okay. Sure. Good deed done. Okay. Right. Okay. See you later. He walks off in the other direction.
Still got money left.
Well,
Towards
the
the
other,
pub?
no, not towards the pub.
He just takes
He's just taking your money and walking off.
What can I do? I'm a
Shoot him in the
trusty
back.
He's literally
Like
walking.
You know, then you see he's kind of like, he has a moment and he turns and goes. Maybe the fact that it is to do with a priest and he's seen this broken man. He heads towards the pub, and maybe he can go and spend money on beer. Okay.
Right.
Let's get in that shack.
Okay, so there is a kind of loose door at the front. It's just wooden walls. There's no windows or anything. And you are kind of curious how Krehl could live in there with a bunch of homeless people and you not hear anything.
Or nudge the door.
See, I wouldn't say it.
You nudge
I
the
wasn't
door.
going to say it.
You nudge the door and it sort of creaks open. And a man with a scarf steps out. No. And
I hit him.
I burn him.
Sonic screwdrivers don't work on axes, Manly.
The door swings open, and the pretense of this building is done. You can see that this is merely built over a manhole cover that obviously clearly goes down into the sewers. There are sort of bedclothes, piles of shit and urine up the walls. It is disgusting in here. There are obviously some homeless people have been kipping in here, but there is the manhole cover is off and there is a ladder that leads down into darkness.
Can I hear anything down there?
Make a roll.
Yes. Yes, I can.
You can. Okay. You can very faintly hear footsteps on flagstones.
Can I tell if they're coming towards or going away with my excellent hearing?
Your excellent hearing allowed you to hear them in the first place, so
Okay.
you can't really tell. It sounds a bit echoey.
Alright, well, we're going down.
Who's going first?
I'm just going to start climbing down.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
going to go after.
At this point, we will switch over to our fourth
We
camera.
have got a battle mat. Yes. Okay. Right. I can move the camera so we can follow the action as we move around. Just so you guys know, this map is available on our Patreon right now. This is the Lair of the Sewer Cult. You can go on there and get the free.
Oh, there's a cult down there. Sweet, let's kill them all.
You can go and get the PDF now. Soon we're going to create a full 4 to 5 page adventure based on this map that you'll be able to get if you are one of our patrons. So please consider supporting the channel. But anyway, over to the battle mat. Right, so can you put Bagric in that little room? By
This
the
one?
ladder? Yep, over there. Yep. Bagric. You climb down into a small chamber, which is sort of 12 foot to a side. So each square is 2 yards.
Okay.
So you can move a number of squares equal to your movement characteristic. Not yet, but when there's a combat round. If there's a combat round.
If only there's
Oh,
a
it's
cult.
fine, okay.
Your dark.
Fine.
Yeah, it's just fine.
Spoilers.
Yeah, moving forward.
There's dark. You have dark vision,
Yes.
so you can see the room, and you can see that there is a door in the wall. You know that this area is probably dwarven constructed old sewers, as this is near the outlet into the river, which you can see over there.
I can't. I'm in a room.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm in a room. It's made of rocks.
Okay, so
I've got no vision,
who's
not
next?
X-ray.
Me.
Me?
Me.
Who's me?
Hartwin.
You pop Hartwin over
Oh,
there.
Hartwin's in that room as well.
Hartwin comes down the ladder behind you.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go through the door.
Okay. Yep. So the door opens. As you open the door, you can see light in the room, and it seems to be coming from your left, and the light is moving around, and you can hear footsteps.
Can I tell at this point whether they're going towards me or away from me?
They seem to be shuffling, so sort of lingering in an area rather than doing anything.
All right.
separate.
Can I hear the footsteps? Can I hear?
Yes. Now that the door is
All right,
open,
I'll look round the corner.
No,
who's
I'll-
next on the ladder?
No, I'll kind of lean down and whisper very quietly. I'll just say that I'll cover you when you.
I will go next on the ladder due to no one else speaking during my silence.
Okay. Sure. Okay, cool. Next on the ladder, we have Alvin.
I
with
got
your
doing with
magic
his sword. Look, sword.
Dirty, great
The
big
pose as
sword.
well.
I got
Pose is
the pose.
very appropriate.
You went and bought a bloody hammer, didn't you?
Yeah.
We're not going to fit in that room.
I know.
Do you want to just put this
No,
next
so
to me on the map?
we may have someone with a
Just-
hammer.
Just put it next to me on the map. It'll be fine.
I was. Oh, yeah. Slightly grandiose, but yes, we'll go with that one. That's fine.
Yeah, for a priest in a robe.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
dude
not wearing
with a
the
gun
robe
and a
yet.
hammer and a.
Have you moved into the room yet?
Well,
So you can see that this is. You can move into the room if you want to.
I will cautiously. Well, I will as
Are you gonna-
stealthily as possible.
Okay. Make a dwarven silent move roll.
Actually, no. I'm going to try and be stealthy. I'm going to use the free fortune point.
Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Cool.
Even more.
Oh, blimey, good roll.
0-0.
Wow.
6.
Oh, okay.
Your point go!
Cheers, guys.
So for a moment, you nearly step on a rock, but then you sort of brush it slightly to the side and step through the doorway.
Like a ghost.
You hear a bird.
And you can see ahead of you, there are two people.
Is ahead of him this way.
Yes, this way. You can see two people. You can see one there, one there, and one there. And that they seem to be looking at each other.
Can I kind of go?
So that's
basically along the wall.
When you look at the map, the grey area is a fast-flowing stream of shit and water and leaves and crap and broken ceramics and all kinds of waste. There is an incline to give the water velocity so that it goes away. You can see that water is coming down through some sort of storm drain here, and water is flowing away from that center point to both of those pooling areas where other channels are coming in, and then it's flowing down.
Okay, so I'd need to basically jump across.
You would need to jump across.
All right, I'm basically going to get to the edge and get ready to jump.
Okay, do you want to make a jump action?
Well, no, I mean,
because
that's
as soon as I
we
do
can
that,
go.
it'll be loud.
That's very
So I'm
true.
kind of waiting for.
Okay, so you get to the edge.
My
I'm just going to
backup.
see if they have noticed you. Your roll was
You're
very
very-
good, though, isn't it?
It was very
What's
good.
your agility?
35.
35. So you
However,
had-
it is on half because I
Oh,
do
really?
not have silent move.
So that's 1 degree of success.
Yes, just
91. So the guy
like a ghost.
looking this way is sort of. They seem to be talking to each other in
Can I
some
see what they
strange.
look like?
They are robed figures.
Oh, they're
Um,
so
The
dying.
one on the far, the one on the far side, which on the screen here is blue. That chap has got a bow, a crossbow, and the other one is holding a torch and a sword. And the light moving around is from his torch. make a perception roll. Anyone who's down the thing now.
On
Hearing.
then lots.
Okay.
What's perception? Agility?
Intelligence.
Oh, failed.
I failed.
Okay. You can hear faint chanting in the distance. Very faint. Okay. So, Hartwin, Bagrick's left the room.
Mhm.
Combat hasn't started yet, so we haven't rolled initiative yet.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do?
Well, I was covering him as he went through, so as he went through, I would have gone through and
Okay.
seen them fairly soon after. So
Yep,
one,
sure.
Are you going to sneak as well?
3.
You will need to, otherwise they'll.
I'll sneak. I'll sneak.
Casually walk through whistling.
I'll try.
Walk casual.
But
Yo, motherfuckers!
I'm quite good at being.
Here we go. This is really
I
fair.
smell motherfucking chaos in there.
What's this? This is on agility, right?
Agility, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll that with my free fortune point
Okay.
and failed miserably.
Okay.
I got a 68 against a 45.
In that case, roll initiative.
Yeah. I was gonna.
So, Alvin,
One dice.
Alvin,
Yeah.
if he's moving through the door and you would have followed him, you can do that if you want to
I
before
might not
initiative
go
starts.
last.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other two can be down the stairs.
Okay.
So, Torvald, you are
How many
wearing a
roll
nice
initiative?
cloak with an axe.
Hey, you got close.
Yeah.
Roll
And-
1d10 after your agility.
And this is like the most ridiculously over the top figure for Siegbert.
Do I also have a gun?
You have a gun,
Yeah.
full plate armour,
Yeah.
4 feathers coming out of your hat, a
Accurate.
cloak with a twin comet on, and a big hammer.
Does that mean I actually get a pistol? Can I put that on my character?
You will
No.
have one soon.
No.
You can have a blunderbuss. dude.
Funnily enough,
One-handed.
when I made
Right,
this one, I
right,
didn't
right,
predict
right.
what we'd need.
Yeah, no, I know, it's fine, it's good. They're all stand-ins, so they are Warhammer figures. though.
Hey, I rolled well.
You roll well. So 1 die and add your agility.
Yeah.
I might not go last.
Right. Let me get this.
I'm just hoping I go before them.
I never go.
Let me roll for them. Oh, I rolled a 1.
I might go before them.
Okay. 32.
I'm going before them.
Nailed it.
Okay. Right.
They do not have good agility.
Okay. Who's worse than 32? No one? Who's next?
41.
45.
Oh, blimey. 41 Alvin.
I got
41 as well.
42.
Torvald. 42 is Hartwin.
Are you going first?
43.
43.
You
43
You
is
can't
Siegbert.
reach them with your movement.
Y'all motherfuckers need Sigma!
The very first roll.
And 45 is Bagrick. Oh.
Oh,
Hello.
and here's the true hero of the
Thank
story.
you. You're on camera now.
Am I?
Yeah. Who wants a beer?
I would could
Everyone.
murder a
Probably
beer.
need to like get some glasses and pump it.
I've got this. You don't need glasses.
I've got lots in the car anyway.
Okay.
Oh, you are a star.
Thank you, wonderful wife.
Thank you, Karina.
Thanks, wife.
There's 4 beers. I'm having one.
Can I
Nice
have
one.
one, please?
I am not.
I'm not having one.
I will.
Tom?
No, thanks.
No? Okay. Yeah, Simon, you're not allowed in.
I'm not having any beer. I have
Immediately
I
fall
have
asleep.
car keys
Yeah.
and
And you'll fall asleep.
coffee.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Cool.
coffee anyway.
That's interlude.
Come on then,
there.
Bagrick. What are you doing? Are you leaping across the water?
Well, I can kind of charge in that general direction, which I'm going to
How
do.
far can one charge?
You can charge twice your movement.
Yeah.
You can run 3 times your movement. But a charge ends in an attack, and a run is everything you do.
So,
It's just there's some diagonals. I just don't know.
Don't worry about diagonals.
You don't.
Yeah.
so is
We're not-
the number of squares that I can go?
Yes.
All right. In which case, I can go 7 squares as I leap across to go hit that guy off.
Because that's 5.
Charge.
So 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4.
I will do a
5.
leaping charge.
You do a leaping charge. I assume you have to make some sort of agility roll for
Yeah,
this.
no strength, I think, for jumping.
Okay. That's handy.
I'm going to fortune that. Yes, just.
Okay, so you leap across. Thank you, Jim, for doing the miniature duties.
I can fly!
Okay,
see my house from here.
I think the idea is that you don't even do any movement. You just go, you like spin up and you just jump across and land next to this guy. Turns around. You can see his skin is slightly scaly. His eyes look like those of a snake.
I'm not really that paying attention, to be honest. I'm just going to scream Kazook and hit him.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
Yes. 41.
Yes. Okay. Are you hitting the 14 in the head?
Hey.
Cool.
Nice.
That's not great.
That's unusual for you.
9.
9 damage. Okay.
To his head.
You swipe your axe at him and his hood flies back. You slice down the side of his head, his ear shaving off the top of his ear. And blood kind of sprays out. And he screams. Siegbert.
Oh yeah. I guess I should... My crossbow wouldn't be loaded. I'm just gonna...
No. If you're going down into the
Yeah, probably
sewer,
would have been.
you'd probably be all...
Yeah.
Right, we knew where we were going. We
Yeah,
probably
Then I'll
would be
take it
going.
out, so that'll be half an action. I'll shoot it because I won't get to aim it.
Right, so you need to move, don't you?
Where
Yeah.
you move into?
Oh, well then I can't.
How many can you move?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. 4.
1, 2,
Yep.
3. To the edge there? Or just
Or
right
the other
there?
way.
I don't want to be in the way though.
No, go the other... You can go down the path the other way, can't
Yeah.
Where
You
you
can go
stand.
there. It's not in front of me. You can go next to me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you? Okay. So you're going to shoot your crossbow at... that one?
This
The other
this one.
guy.
It's a lot harder to hit someone in combat.
Well,
Oh,
no,
just
yeah,
not-
so
not-
shooting
yeah,
a guy not in melee
I'm
is
trying to
not
shoot
easy.
over your head.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
which is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm gonna use a fortune point though, because probably won't get a chance to use one later on. Anyway. Nope, that's a worse miss.
Okay, you fire a crossbow into the darkness. It shoots down the corridor between the two mutant cultists into the darkness. The one with the crossbow turns to look at you, eye stalks coming out from underneath the hood, and little bloodshot eyes on the ends of them, sort of moving slightly hypnotically like this. Brings the crossbow up. Hartwin.
I will aim and fire at the crossbow dude.
Okay.
I hit, rolling 66.
Yeah. Oh my god. Right, so you hit him in the body.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I get 6 points of damage.
Okay. The arrow goes into the chest, through the robes, and blood starts to form
Oh,
around
does he
it.
have any armour at all?
It's just wearing robes, you can't see.
Because I have armour piercing in case
That does
Just
not
just
take
tell me.
effect.
Alright.
Yes. Okay, next we have Alvin and Torvald together.
So it's whoever's got the higher base agility.
Okay, I'll go.
Of 27?
Actually, yeah, my base agility is 32.
Oh, no.
31.
Oh! You're only just more agile than the dwarf. Go for it. What are you doing?
So I will look at my loaded crossbow, and
You can hand it.
yeah. I'll take the unloaded crossbow,
Okay.
put it away, and I shall get my sword
That's a
out.
half action
That's fine.
to do all
I'll
that.
get my sword out.
Quick draw.
It's free.
Yep.
And then I shall wander over towards the bad guys.
So you're going to jump over the...
No, I'm going to get covered in shit at some point in
You're
this
going
episode.
to... Okay.
I might as
So
well just
every round you're in the
I might as well
ship,
just
you
get-
move 2 squares
yeah.
downstream.
Okay.
So you've moved to the edge. Are you going to walk into the shit?
Well, I'm going to get covered in shit. I always get covered in shit.
Why don't
No,
you-
I will.
You
I
can
will,
step
I will
that
step
way,
over.
and then you
Okay,
move...
I will just jump over.
Okay.
I'll just jump
Make a
over.
strength roll.
63.
Okay.
That's my strength.
That's a fail.
48.
63. Okay.
You've still got lots of fortune points.
You use a fortune point?
Might as well. Still
might as
failed.
Still
Okay,
less
so-
failed though.
You go to jump,
Yeah.
but you slip on some effluent.
I told you.
And you
I
land
told you,
in
see?
the water.
I
No,
could
no.
have not rolled any dice and just.
So you could have just
Just
stepped in.
You could have
into the
just slipped
shit.
into the ship.
Face
Um,
first into poo.
and then
No,
Not face,
no,
no,
face
but,
first. I
but
did
sort
roll
of
really
up
bad.
to the chest. It's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
deep.
Oh, that's
That's
great.
And then
Yeah, it's
2
like
squares
oh.
that way?
At the
Don't fall in.
when at the beginning of his turn, we'll move him 2 squares that way. Okay, Torvald.
See, I knew it was going to go badly for me.
2, 3.
You'll probably stand on my head.
Are you running and leaping?
No.
Alright, so you are the edge of the F.
Crossbow.
Yes.
Okay. And I assume you're going to shoot the target that the other ranged
Yes.
combatants have. Okay. Go for it.
Vanishes into the
Okay.
distance because, I don't have a good ballistic skill.
Fair enough. Right, now it's their turn. So, the one in close combat turns, thank you, and strikes at Bagric. Yes, 27.
No, 20.
Okay. Boom! There's the dwarven drum of your shield. Boom! The crossbowman steps back a couple of squares and fires at Hartwin because you hit him.
I did.
Okay. Here
That
we go.
crossbowman has a sword.
Well, they all have a sword eventually.
Yeah.
They will when you get to them.
They're representative. Okay, he misses. The crossbow sort of hits into the wall behind you, bouncing off. Good dwarven construction. Right, back to the beginning. Bagric.
I'm going to hit him.
Okay, go for it.
Never saw that coming.
Yes, 12.
Okay,
21.
in the 21. He's going to try. Can he? You can try and parry with his sword, can't you?
Yes, if he's in parrying stance.
No, he's not. Okay, and he doesn't have dodge blow.
7.
7. Okay.
7 to the 21s.
Okay, you hurt him though.
And then in the 62.
Okay.
6.
Roll critical.
I rolled a 2 and then a 1. 63
And you step it up one, don't you? And you
I
hit him in the
do.
body.
is in the body, that last
Okay.
one. And it does increase by 1.
Okay. As the creature turns, you swing your axe and actually hit him through the kind of love handle and into the spine, splintering. The creature is knocked to the ground. It can do nothing until receiving medical attention.
I'll give you some in a minute.
Blood is sort of pooling out of it and falling into the water, and you see this trailing down and around and pooling around Alvin.
I told you.
Probably better than poo.
He's sort of screaming in pain, and it can do nothing. So he's kind of lying prone on the floor in front of you, going.
I'll sort that in a minute.
I'll sort that out in a minute. Okay, next it's Siegbert.
Like our police academy.
Must have been handed a load
My
of
voice
crossbow.
is that bad.
I gotta aim and shoot. Mr.
Okay,
Crossbow.
cool.
No.
Fortune point?
Yeah, why not? I have one more, and then I have the luck one as well.
Ah.
Nope.
Oh my god. You're going to keep rolling a 6 on that first 10.
There's only 6
I mean,
Yeah, it's green for a reason.
it's done well before. It's done well before.
Okay.
Not this time.
Hartwin.
I'm gonna aim and shoot.
Okay, go
Could
for
I
it.
get a free reload?
Yes.
Rapid reload.
Rapid reload.
Hit on a 51.
So in the 15.
In the face!
In the face! In the face! Come on. Roll a 10.
No, I rolled another 3, so another 6 points of damage.
Okay. He's got like, scrapes him and it's like caught in his robe. He's like got a couple of arrows sticking out of him. Right, Alvin. Move Alvin 2 squares down the shit tunnel.
I will get out.
How many is that half an action to get out, or
That would be take up half your movement.
Okay.
so 2?
And then I shall wander off and see the back end of a dwarf. And some blood.
The most
lying
dangerous
along.
end.
Yeah, the business end. Okay, Torvald.
I'm going to cross.
Here, you're going to jump across.
No, I'm going
Just gonna-
to just
Half movement in, half movement out, you're across.
yeah,
Okay,
cross the narrowest bit.
Covered in
cool. Covered in poo.
And the fact that I probably had to swim that,
Yeah.
because if it's up to
Doggy.
his chest,
Dwarfy paddle.
Not an easy task in
You should have
shape.
done the whole shield thing and just ran and. Oh yeah,
That would be awesome. Throw it and
3 or 4 so it goes like down.
And then just
you roll one.
You have to go all the way to the bottom to find your shield.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Okay, cool. Next is my go. So the one on the floor is going to scream in pain for his full action.
Excellent.
And the other one is going to fire. No, he's going to run down the corridor. He's going to try and jump across. And fail and fall into the poo.
Down that way.
Yeah.
It's alright, he'll come back.
That's cool.
Depends on which side of the thing.
No, so he's just this side of the line, so he will
helping
come.
him.
Oh, he'll come this way. Oh, right, okay.
But that's his action done. So back round to the beginning with Bagric.
I'm going to use a half action to hit the guy on the floor in front of me.
Okay.
So I'd rather he was dead.
Okay. You can roll the critical if you want, but he's dead.
Medical
You cut him
attention.
in half.
I hit on a 20, so I'm going to chop his head off.
Oh, cool. You chop his head off. You separate his head. As he's screaming, suddenly his face goes still in a moment of
Well,
anguish.
I didn't want the body to disappear because it might have loot on it. So
He's wearing robes.
doesn't mean they don't have gold.
Or pantaloons.
Beneath his robes are a pair of purple and yellow pantaloons. No.
Right, I'm then going to use my remaining half action to step over the body and wander 3 squares that way.
You don't want to push the body into the
No.
stuff. Okay.
In the street.
Okay.
Over the top.
Right. Siegbert.
Yeah. I'm gonna come around and try and get across.
This, just so you know, this area to the right on the screen is dark, and then further down here is dark as well because the torches
On the
now
floor.
on the
there.
floor behind Bagric. Unless you get torches out yourselves.
No, I'm just going to pick up the one on the floor.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I want to come around to.
This side.
And then try and get across. Can I run?
So you want to go one?
You can run.
You can leap.
It's 3 times you move for run in terms of
3
squares.
times?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
so
all your whole action.
Yeah.
You
Leaping
wanna
is
leap?
7. So that's like a running jump. If you want to jump across.
You could literally
Yeah,
go 1,
yeah,
2,
that's what I
3,
wanna
4, 5, 6. You could get there.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
This
Cool.
is what I'm trying to do.
Make a strength
You've
roll.
got to make a leap.
Yeah, let's do it. The roll's been going so well. Let's use my last fortune point just for funsies.
Because then it falls to the wall.
Hey, 17.
Yeah,
Cool.
you did it.
Someone in a hat like that just can't be covered in shit.
Other one. That was you.
That was just...
It's,
Yeah,
Stop trying to get you across the pit.
yeah. Oh, that's me.
I'm sorry, I'm just used to being
How
the
did you
fancy
get...
one.
Yeah. I was wondering how you got it mixed up. It's
So you
like-
did rip those pantaloons.
That's true.
Okay, cool. So, next we have Hartwin.
Can I shoot the guy before he's
If
falling?
you step to the edge of the drink, yeah, then you can shoot down with minus 20% because he's kind of half submerged.
That's fine.
I know it's fine.
Give me a borrow. Yes, on a 13. So
Okay.
hit him in the 31s.
His arm.
Right arm.
That
And
def-
4 points of damage.
It's the wrong arm.
It's alright, at least you're going to get him an infection.
As he's kind of thrashing around in the water, an arrow pierces his robe, and another bit of blood comes out. He's now got 3 arrows, sort of.
I think he's worried about an infection. He's only got eye stalks. Yeah.
Let's move this. A
I was trying to make it a bit more positive than a 4.
There we go. Okay. So,
Who's after
it
Hartwin?
is Alvin.
So I will put my sword away to get out.
Okay.
So I will prefer my knuckle dusters,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
shall charge
Okay.
With-
Who are
with-
you charging?
the guy in the shit.
Okay, right. So you're going to run through the water.
And I'm going to run past all the people. Because
Okay.
It's quite wide.
It's
And then-
6 foot wide.
Yeah. And then when I get to the end of my eight,
You're just going
my
to pile
eighth
in.
movement
Is he going to have to jump across to the other side to run?
No, I'm already on
No,
the,
no.
I'm already on the other side.
If you were fighting, yes. But because you're not fighting, he can get past you. Because there's 6. They're 6 foot wide. Each
Okay.
square.
Okay, so you've gone face down on top of this guy.
Well, no, because he's in the stuff, isn't he? So do I actually?
There's a drop down.
So I can literally just go down.
You would have to you'd have to lie down on the floor to punch him.
Well, I'll just jump.
So you jump in.
Just jump in and.
Okay.
And
You're already covered in
Falcon
crap.
punch.
Okay. Okay.
Sure, you can.
Get a plus 10.
92.
So I'll use my.
No, wait.
No, I really will. I got 92.
But just so you know, you get plus 10% because he's effectively knocked down.
Yeah, and I get plus 10% because I'm
Flying.
I'm
Yeah, because it's cool.
I'm a street fighter.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
So I get plus 10% anyway.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
yeah.
24.
That'll do.
24.
Okay.
I hit him with
So you
what?
fly into the thing, just fist first,
Literally.
into
Bam.
them. Okay,
Shit punching.
roll
him.
damage. Strength bonus minus 2, 3?
Minus
Minus
4.
3.
Oh no, minus
Yeah,
3 from the
So I'm
knuckles.
strength 3, so it's 2.
Just the roll. Okay.
Can't believe I rolled quite so
He's been hit so many
You punch him,
times.
But again, though,
not much
you
really
you
happens.
dived in on
I
top. You
said
gave
knock
him
him
a
out,
dead
don't
arm.
touch him.
That was your full
Bigger
action.
brother
wasn't it?
tactic.
It was my full action,
Yes,
yes.
full action.
Yes.
Okay.
It's so dramatic. Ah, poof, ah. It's me grabbing his hand. Goes, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Torvald, what are you doing?
I'm going to move past Sigbert to just behind Bagric, and then I'm going to boot the body off into the channel.
Into
Okay.
the drink.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gone.
You can have it like floating.
All right, I'll move it each time.
Thanks, Jim. Cool. Okay. Right. So it's my go. The guy that you are now wrestling with
Yeah.
is going to try and stab you with his sword.
Okay. That's fine. So can he actually do that in the drink?
He's now it's his turn. He takes a half action to steady himself, and then the other half action to whack you.
That's probably some.
And a half action to take out the sword.
No, he's already holding a sword.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
Oh no, he wasn't holding a
No,
sword.
'cause he-
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So half action, and then he draws a sword.
Okay.
But he's kind of slightly unsteady.
Because
He
you punched
moves
him in the arm.
2 squares away.
But aren't you on top of him? Wouldn't he
So
also?
it was a punch. It wasn't a grapple. It was a punch.
So he
If you-
drifts
if
the
you-
2 squares.
He drifts 2
So at the
squares.
start of my turn, I will drift the 2 squares towards him, and then I'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
Punch him
Just
again.
get to
It's
stand
not,
there.
yeah, no, but you'll slowly drift away from everyone unless they keep up with you.
Yeah.
So that's as
I'm
you.
just providing the comedy moment.
You're
Oh, they're
gonna
gone.
hold that fist ready and wait for you to get swept down.
Bam!
You can do it twice. You haven't moved.
I will do it twice.
A figure appears
Oh, no.
around the corner,
Hey.
holding a crossbow
Yeah.
that's loaded, and fires at Bagric down the side.
Minus 20 because I'm holding a shield. Oh no, minus 10, I think. One of them.
If I get to the
Minus
first
10.
guy,
I think
It can't be
the
20.
second guy just
I think
grab
it's
his leg
10.
and
Yeah.
pull him in.
Oh, but a 0.5 is pretty darn good.
Yes.
So that's in the 50.
Yeah,
Left arm.
Nothing I can
Left
do about
arm. So you go to bring a shield up, which is, I assume, on your left.
it. On my left arm, yeah.
Yeah, and you turn, but it kind of comes in behind the shield and gets you in the arm. Let's roll damage. Ooh. Crossbow is
4.
4, so that is 12 points of damage.
So minus 8, so 4 wounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It takes
minus
8 of it.
Yeah, 8.
It's got 5 toughness and 3 armor.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes, it's still got movement, so it's going to step back behind the wall.
Has he? You can't do a part of a half action, then do a half action.
You're
And
absolutely
finish
right.
it off.
Sorry. So he
he-
has to finish his turn there.
Yeah.
He's done. Okay.
Back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning.
That's all right.
Bagric.
You'll die for that bastard, and I'm charging him.
Okay.
Why are you Zoidberg? I don't know.
Yeah, 15, yeah.
15. Okay.
Charging.
Mm.
Is double.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Running
for
is
it.
triple.
It's like 8
I thought, isn't the door smooth only 2 then?
7.
What's the door
7.
smooth?
3.
Oh, 3. So we can go 6 then.
I've got to do some quick maths in my head. Okay, cool. Right, Siegbert.
Yeah, can I pull out my sword? Well, my hammer and shield.
Yep.
And then move as far as I can move to try and get up to combat.
How many can you move now?
4, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, if you're doing a half action, store a weapon.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I could
Hartwin?
charge them, but I wouldn't have any weapons.
Yeah.
I'd be hitting them with a crossbow.
Everyone's in combat, so I'm just going to kind of run.
Go on.
Gotta
Do
do
it.
the leap
Do
of-
the thing.
A pair of leaps, Jim. You know.
You swim through the poo, or you
We should have brought a plank. We could have brought a bit of cow's bed like I was going to. Or we could have put it
But
down.
what would that do? Have you not seen
Across.
Ghostbusters 2? Like, get the...
It would deliberately fling you into the
Yeah.
How many squares can I jump? Can I jump across this way?
You can leap 7.
Yeah,
You'll need a pretty good leap to, I'd imagine, leap that way.
yeah. I would not recommend it.
All right.
You'll just fall in.
I'll go
DM
I'll go the
does
same
not
way
recommend
as
it.
everybody.
Natural 1 all the way.
That would actually be
Is it strength or agility to get across?
Strength.
Why is it
Because you're hurling your own body through
Yeah.
space.
And time. Hey!
14 points. Failed.
Hey!
Right, where did you fall in the poo?
There.
Yeah,
falling
okay.
through. But I was running, so can I?
So you also crack your face on the side.
You can use your other half action to climb out the other side if you really want to.
Yeah. Good. That's all I can do.
Okay, cool.
Go
Right,
on to-
Alvin.
I shall drift. When I finish drifting, I shall punch him.
Okay,
Is that
twice.
You're just going to stand there and go.
Let's go.
So 70. Now I'm on. My weapon skill is 47, 57, 67. Gutted.
Just missed.
I hit him. Actually, no. Yeah, I hit him again. That's fine. 28.
Okay.
28. So in the 82, and I
In his
do
leg.
him 7 damage.
Okay.
You poo punch him in the leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grab his leg and upturn him.
Okay.
That would be far more on.
You are punching and fighting,
Yeah.
and you kick down on his shin,
Yeah.
and you hear a horrible snap, and he squeals in pain. His eye stalks kind of sticking out at you, bloodshot.
I try to grab him. Shook. It's when I hold his eye stalks and go, wait till you drift. No!
Okay. Cool.
Especially you hold the ice and poking him repeatedly. Yeah.
Great. Okay, Alvin, well done. Torvald, your go.
I'm going to stay where I am, switch out the crossbow and draw my shield and my axe.
Okay, who's got their torch?
It's on the floor.
It's on the floor there. Okay, so it's sort of lighting up a patch around there. It's dark down this end.
Dang.
Not a problem for
I
us.
can only see the light.
Next turn you'll be at -10 because of the light.
That's fine.
Just so you know. Sorry. Where were we? Torvald.
Yeah, talk about
Yeah,
it.
so
switch out the
switched weapons.
Cool. Good. Okay. Then it's me. So,
Drifting dead body.
if you could put that one up. No, up in the other corridor. No,
Over
no.
there.
Jim,
Over there, further up.
here.
By the. Thanks, Jim.
Do you want him so he can see?
Yes.
You can see.
You can't probably not shoot that far.
Just gonna adjust.
Ow!
That's me.
There we go.
Good stabbing as well.
Just a little adjustment
So,
while you check out my bald spot there.
Do his eye things pop out when he drifts?
No, the drift doesn't happen because you're holding his eye still, and his sort of legs are drifting backwards, and he kind of goes to stab at you, desperately. And he's in pain, and you're holding his eyes, so he's kind of.
He's got arrows
Flailing
sticking out of
around.
him. He's
We all know what that
so
feels
dead.
like. Having someone hold your
I wonder if I can do disarm on his eye stalks.
The other one that you're standing in front of, as he drops his crossbow, you see that he's got massive claws on his hands, and he swipes at you. Ooh, 16.
2.
And they scrape across your shield as you block it. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Over the other side. No. Hartwin, you hear. Twang.
Does
he got a torch?
No, he's at a penalty. Crossbow bolt flies past your head. From that corridor. Hence that new miniature.
Mhm.
Okay.
I can't do anything.
Bagrick, your go.
I'm going to hit him.
Hit him! Hit him with a pointy end!
I'm going to fortune that. Fuck, it's even worse. Second attack. No.
Ah.
I'm going to fortune that one.
Okay, so no joy for Bagrick. Oh dear. Right.
Oh dear.
Siegbert.
Can I charge someone?
You have to charge in a straight line, don't you?
It's a bit narrow.
Unless I can jump over the dwarf.
You could always jump to the
No.
other side of here.
Yeah, you could run along there.
Go to
but-
here and then jump back again.
Yeah, but that you wouldn't be able to do the attack in the round, but you could get around the back.
Alright.
But you'd have to jump twice.
Need a strength roll.
Well, can I just jump over here and come to here?
Yeah, you can do that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
over to
yeah.
the other guy. Or do I want to? I suppose if I'm doing a run, I can get all the way behind him, no?
You could do.
It would have to be a
You'd have-
leap instead of a run, because a leap's full action.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, alright.
You can leap over.
Leap over and
Okay.
Where are you leaping to here? Or to there?
then... Well, leap
Well, you've got to
over,
jump
yeah, so-
across and then run down.
Alright.
So that's
Leap
kind of.
is your
do the
movement
jump.
plus your strength bonus.
So wait, does that mean I can only leap and then I can't move?
Yeah, it's like you have a run up and a leap.
So
You've
your
got like
seven,
a
your seven
movement.
squares
Yeah.
is your whole leap.
Yeah. And in that movement, you can do a leap.
Right.
I do my...
So if you're doing a leap, do you have to do the check? If
If I'm allowed to move 7 squares of it.
Yes, I believe you still have to make a
Yeah,
roll.
that's how we
Yeah,
all
yeah,
did
yeah.
jumping.
Doesn't
No,
mean it's
I'm in
necessarily
the poo.
right.
You're in the poo! And then you climb out going... Pleh, 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 pleh.
Okay. Hartwin.
I turn and go, huh? Is it dark?
It is dark.
Can I see him though?
You can see him.
I'm gonna
Like
aim
an
with
outline.
fire.
Because at the far end, there's actually light at the end of the tunnel. And he is kind of a silhouette poking out.
see.
So you can kind of... It's difficult.
Facial expression is
You can shoot anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna aim and shoot.
Okay.
So did you get to free reload every
What?
turn?
This is my last one.
Yeah, rapid reload just reduces the reload time of a weapon by half action.
Right. So I rolled 76. If there's no penalty, I hit him.
Okay. There's a minus 10%. Sorry, it's dark. Okay. Right. Alvin.
So I shall release the eyes
Okay.
and allow myself to drift
Okay.
2 squares.
Into him?
Well, he blocks your path.
Well, will he? Because it's quite wide.
Oh, you want to drift past him?
Yeah.
Punch him on the way.
You going to punch him on the way past?
No.
You just
Well,
want to
you
drift
disengage
past
So
him?
yeah, it's a disengage.
Well, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
disengage.
shooting.
Yeah, so your action would be disengage. So you're moving away.
Because he stepped away from me.
If
And
you're
drew
trying to
his
move,
sword.
you're in combat. If you try and move past him without a disengage, you'll get an attack of opportunity on you.
That's fine. I will just drift past him.
Sure.
All right. So
And
you
if he
get,
wants to have a go, then that's fine. He's
has a go.
nearly dead.
He has a go. He swats at the air.
Okay. So I will drift past him, my 2 squares,
I'm just the poo.
and then I shall grab hold of the leg of the guy with the claws.
Okay, cool.
Pull him into the
Okay,
poo.
cool. Like it.
So it's
Pull
a
him into
brawl,
the poo.
brawl action.
By the way, it's just called the poo now. Yeah. It
Brawl-
won't be
I'm
called
assuming
that
it's
in
just a
the
brawl
adventure that we released.
Do I get a surprise roll because he doesn't know I'm there because he's dark?
Yeah, yes, you do. He's unaware, so you
did
get
it.
plus 30%.
Yeah.
I did it.
You got it.
Okay.
On 30.
So you grab him
So
and you roll damage. So you're basically
Yeah.
pulling him to hit him.
probably opposed strength.
So,
We'll do that in a minute.
so 8.
8 damage.
8 damage.
Okay. He clatters to his one of his knees buckles as it hits the
Yeah.
flagstone,
Yeah.
and his face hits the and he looks at you. Ah!
Yeah.
Opposed strength roll to see if you pull him into the poo.
My strength 48. No. And I'm not going to use my last fortune point.
I failed as well, so it's a stalemate.
Yeah.
So he just hits the
He hits the-
ground and he's
he-
kind of like
he
shaken.
just face plants.
But he gets back up. He's not stunned or anything.
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Torvald.
I have 2 attacks.
Oh, you have 2 attacks. Okay.
Punch him in the leg.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll round up.
Nope. Oh, actually,
Yeah, it was
Nope.
60. Oh no, sorry.
no, 'cause it's dark.
Right. Cool. 12
I'm just going to move up along the side behind Bagric.
Okay. Cool. Then it's my go, and then we'll round things up.
Drifting.
Yep.
1, 2.
Thank you. Crossbow. Sorry, arrow from the far side. It's not a crossbow.
Oh, has he got a bow?
Yes. But he's shit. So an arrow flies past you, and then down this end we've got a bit of fun going on. So the guy with the eye stalks is going to try and stab you.
Okay. Well, I moved past him, didn't I? So
Yeah,
that's
he's
pretty
move
good.
up to you and try and hit you.
He drifted into
rolling
you.
an 82, so no. And the guy with the claws is going to attack Bagric.
He's going to get up.
Well, he didn't. It was just like a moment in the combat. Not.
yeah,
He wasn't actually knocked prone. No. Okay. Cool.
Jobby can opener.
Bagric. Your go.
Gonna hit him. Yes, 6.
Okay. Roll damage.
6.
9.
I like the way you're like, oh, just 9.
Well, I haven't rolled above a 4 for my
Okay.
damage.
Roll critical.
That's not very good. 86.
Okay.
That's to the body.
He is stunned for 1d10 rounds.
So he's dead then, basically.
Well, he will be in a second. So if he's stunned,
Yeah.
Going in the
If he's
drink.
stunned, you get plus 20% to hit.
5.
You hit him.
Bit of a wasted roll, really, wasn't it?
7.
Okay. So that's, yep, roll critical.
12. That's a lot better.
Killed in whatever spectacular and gore-drenched fashion the player or GM cares to
Right, so
describe.
it was in his left arm. I'm going to literally chop him through his armpit, across his body, and out the neck.
Cool. So you like to do
Ow.
a slow swinging strike,
Not that
I told you I'd kill you.
and he is dead.
You were warned.
Yeah. And watching his little top
can I
corner
dodge,
fall.
Can I dodge the blood?
Now, unfortunately, because you're right next to it, the lick of fresh blood goes up your face, over the crusty old blood that was there from before.
And the corner of him that I chopped off, because it was in a fashion I said, falls on top of Simon.
You get the top quarter of his body, like, hit you, the face, frozen in the scream that he was giving you, like, close to your,
And then the
close to
body
your
falls sideways, and his guts fall onto Simon.
Okay.
And because you cut right through the middle, some of the poo comes out.
Hang on a minute. I came to help you because you were rolling so badly, and this is the appreciation I get.
This is me finding it funny, not Bagric.
Okay, Siegbert.
You're covered in poo.
So I can't get the guy.
You can
Can I dive in on top of that dude who's next to
Yeah,
me?
go for it.
Yeah.
You're just going to jump into the poo.
I'm okay with. I just want to
go for
hit
it.
someone.
You-
I
you-
suppose
you're
you're
really
really
Covered in poo now.
At the
No,
end
no.
of this, depending on how often you've been in the poo, we might make you all roll for like diseases. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
it's
on.
Warhammer after all. There's like 20.
Yeah,
there's
go.
like 20 diseases
Jump-
listed
jump
in the
in.
rule book. It's great.
Trying
Okay,
to do like
at
a.
least the galloping trots.
You've seen enough shit, so you get the shit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Nice. So you swing your hammer.
Go on.
Are you doing a Thor like hammer first?
Yeah, like
Oh no, I meant like just flying.
No, 'cause I just kind of like
really
the bomb.
horrendously ineffective way.
Yeah, I know.
It was in the 42, which is some arm, I think, is it?
Yeah, one of his arms.
It's a left arm.
Screw you, left arm. 3 and strength. Strength bonus 3. Yeah.
So 6.
Yep.
6 points of damage.
Roll critical.
Death by 1,000 tiny knocks.
Yeah.
Oh, is it full?
2 dice.
Two
Two
dice.
dice.
I haven't
Yep.
done it.
Roll low.
64.
Okay, well, it's all right. You've done enough damage to him. You bring the hammer down, and it hits the arrow that was sticking into his arm, and you drive the arrow through his arm and into his chest cavity.
How perfect of a hit would that have to be?
It's almost like
Not
your
crack
hammer was guided by some external force, and you slam the arrow into his body, and a hose of blood instantly like flies out
Over Simon.
over Alvin as he spins around. And Alvin just dumps the body and the torso off and turns around like, and there's like the other way. It's just like, okay. And
So just take the insanity point.
we'll wait. And he is dead. Right.
It's going to be like a carry scene at some point. You're just going to be so gore-drenched, you're going to go insane and telekinesis will start happening.
Okay. We're just going to round this turn up and then we're going to finish. So, Hartwin.
I'm gonna aim and shoot and then step back.
Okay.
Because you can't aim's half action, shoot's half action.
I feel, can't you?
You can fire and then do that, but you can't aim.
Yeah.
But you love aiming.
Aim and fire. Hit on a 39.
Okay.
Hit him right in the leg.
What is it with damage today, guys? Feel like death by 1,000 cuts. Okay. Right.
Armor piercing.
Sure. Alvin. You are like just been freshly showered and all.
I shall get
You
out
move
of the
down the
drink.
poo and then you move out the poo.
I should get out of the drink.
Okay, you climb out.
Yeah. I shall use some robe to wipe.
Sure, you wipe some of the excess
Some of
gore
the
and
poo off
filth
you.
off of your body.
Yeah.
And you notice as you climb out that there is a light coming from under that door, faint light, and you can hear some sort of chanting. Torvald.
I am going to walk back up and go and pick up the torch that's lying on the side.
Okay.
Not that we need it, but these people don't seem that bothered by their lack of ability to see in the dark.
Sure.
Or dwarven foresight, I think. It happens after
my
the fact.
go. That creature up the end there will disappear into the darkness from where it came.
We have been
Dun, dun,
Screaming.
dun.
We have been affumed.
Screaming. Cool. Okay. So we're actually going to round up the session there.
Dead.
You guys have killed. Yeah, dead.
I'm just noting
You
here
guys-
that I'd nick his stuff.
There's no stuff.
There was a crossbow.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
nicking-
crossbow and a few bolts in the pocket of his robe. But apart from that,
Oh, I'm not bothered about
They
the bow,
are-
I'm nicking the crossbow.
Every piece of gold you
saying
can
that,
possibly
yeah.
can.
Okay, so you guys have discovered the lair of the sewer cult, available on our Patreon, and defeated the first guards that you've found of the lair. And next time, in 2 weeks, we will pick that up with you guys trying to find Krehl and stop his foul ritual. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. We had a lot of fun with that. That was good. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos. Check out Masters and Monsters. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're going to do another poll. I'll give it a bit more time this time. I'll remember to do it. Roger kept reminding me, but I kept forgetting. So I'll put that up. And you guys can vote for who deserves a fortune point for the all-important session next time. Yeah, until next time, we'll see you on Flint and Steel. Bye-bye.
Bye.